It's the Tonya bird, so don't you know? Like and share, let's make it glow. Flint City News, we bring the heat. When we fight, we beat defeat. I won't give up, I won't stand down. The city's heart will never drown. Together we rise, we've got the power. See, we find the hour. The residents deserve much more. Let's break these chains, open the door. The fight is ours, victory inside. Flint City strong, we'll make it right.
Hey y'all, look, how is everybody doing? Hey, alien superstar, thank you for the $1.99. Burns for governor. I want to be over all the sales of marijuana because that's clearly what this nation needs to calm down. Clearly. So let SHIT, I'm gonna cuss. I don't know what I just did with the pen. Anyways, look, everybody who was joining us, we got a lot to cover here. So I want to thank you, all of you, for giving me your time along with producer Jay. We're going to cover a lot. Y'all, it's so much going on. Flint has no chill at all. So I want to say, hey, look, let me go back in on this other one. Y'all know what? I got a million pens. Don't let me buy no more shoes. I don't need no more shoes, no hat. Hey, Johnny G. Hey. I got to call you back too. You called me this morning. Hey, Debbie Clark. So let me go down from everyone who was on here. Because I can't see the chat on that part. I can't, so I need to go back in. So I want to tell you, hey, tonight, Kathleen, Debbie. But let me say thank you to producer Jay is in the house. We need some sound effects, producer Jay. It's like, I need like that little fog on it. And I want to say, we're gonna work on that. I want to say thank you to Patrick Jean and Sheena Beckton. They are our moderators in here for this evening. And I want to say thank you to each of you. Oh, he changed a whole lot of stuff on here. You've been doing a lot. I didn't see you change that background thing. Okay. Me and producer Jay got to have some talks. So I want to say, look, I got to scroll. Y'all look, I got to scroll back down. So
wait a minute. What did you say I changed?
It had like some pink and green and stuff on it.
Oh no, StreamYard is doing a lot. It was StreamYard made that. It's AI generated by StreamYard, so that wasn't me.
It's funny. Arthur Woodson tells him he folded clothes. Listen, baby, I got some clothes to be hung, some shoes. I need a closet. I done told you them closets, they made this big. I need a closet. I went from 2 walk-in closets to you got 5 pair of pants, 4 shirts, and 2 pairs of shoes, 1 for work and 1 for church. And I've been on the struggle bus. So if you see like some hats back there, and I did not wear that sun hat this summer, but I'm trying to get, I guess, organized. So let me get back to thanking everybody as producer Jay has been putting everybody up on the screen because y'all, we're gonna talk about it. I mean, Flint just has no chill. So Grand Rapids was good. I want to say that. I did learn about tone. What they didn't learn was tone in the city council meeting because they went right back. So Nakia Harris, Meat Freaks Barbecue, I ain't going. Javar Ellis, Granny G. Abandoned Fame, Alien Superstar, R. Murphy, Charlotte, Christopher Chandler, hey, Joseph Williams, Miss J, Eddie Gray, Charlotte Brown, Sheena B, Tasha Lynn, Auntie M, Gutter Black. Y'all know I like saying that. Gutter Black, Alona Calloway, Will Warren. That sounds very professional. Will Warren. Debbie Carr, Kathleen Drozen, Tania Walker, JP6, what's up? Javar Ellis, what's going on? Diane Thorne, Cicero McGill, Cheryl Hart, Tara, Johnny G, Cash Williams, Christine Chandler, Jeremiah Jackson, hey you, Aluna Calloway, Lang, Tasha Lynn, Michelle, I do have chili. I did make a really big pot. I'm gonna freeze it. So if you want some, call me up. I'll give you some. Tasha Lynn, Miss J, Tara, Marcia Tober, Queen Hanifa, Miss J, Blood of Judah, Reverend Frederick, and Yvette Bailey. Thank all of you. And if I missed you on the Facebook side, I can't see that. Or can I? Connie Lewis, how you doing? And so listen, y'all, everybody, I missed y'all. I did. I miss coming on here. I don't know who got this little virus spreading it, whose little child and went to school and came back with that little petri dish and got everybody sick. But it was really like a 30-day virus. I mean, my ribs were hurting from coughing. And matter of fact, I had it from literally the day that Pastor Thompson St. Mark Church caught on fire. I knew I didn't, women, we don't think, we just jump into action. As Black women, that's what we do. And for the Black women, the 92%, we can no longer sit back. If y'all shopping at Target, sneaking in the door, shopping at Target, we got to talk, y'all. We got to talk. We need the white women to come with us. We need some help this time after watching the generals in Virginia. Was crazy. Arthur Woodson, I mentioned your name, and are you really doing that? Listen, send me your thing because he has a cancer research that's coming up. So text that over to me, a condensed version of it, please. So if my show is out of order, y'all charge it to my mind. I have been sick. I did take a test for COVID, flu, and strep, but I think mine had turned into pneumonia. I think it did. So we're going to talk. So Christopher says, I don't know if I saw you. Thank you, Debbie, for the $5. Thank you, Rhonda Atkins. Hey. So y'all listen, it's been a lot going on. Producer Jay, are you ready? Producer Jay want a new producer segment, y'all. And why he just tell me this like 2 minutes before? Did you see what I said? I want a producer segment. And I don't know what it is. I have no idea. So we're going to have a new thing, producer segment, at some point tonight. At some point. So thank you, Alien Superstar, again. Chili and chicken salad recipe. Look, I love to cook. I love to cook and have wine while I'm cooking. Councilman Leon Alameen stated, I am a known alcohol and cocaine abuser, is what he stated on the PPO, which was kicked out. It was kicked out. I do not have a problem with alcohol or cocaine. Never had cocaine. And I don't have an OUI, a DUI. I don't have a disorderly conduct. I don't have intoxicated while in public. I have none of that. So he decided to just put that out that I was a known cocaine abuser. I mean, and we're going to get into some of the lies and I'm going to show y'all what the lies are. So Michelle, that chicken salad is the bomb. Michelle, she had the caregiver making her some of that chicken salad the other day. And I'm like, honey, baby. And she had to run up the stairs to tell her, no, that needs a little bit more of this. No, put another stalk of celery. I'm like, I'm glad it's you doing it, not me. I'm going to sit right here, do what I need to do while you run up and down those stairs. So, okay, thanks, Art. So, I hope you texted to me. Yeah, he did. So when we get started, so I do want to go off. So before we get started into, and producer Jay, I'm going to send this to you. We got to do some events. We are going to start off with number one. And y'all know I got like 10 million. Hey, Lasagna, Larry. That is not the run a show. It is. Look, Hoppo, who run a show is that? And while I'm thinking about what I was sick, I saw The Color Purple as a musical. Who thought that was a good idea? I didn't care for it. I didn't care for Color Purple and a lot of people didn't. Men didn't care for Color Purple. Black men didn't, but I did not like it as a musical. So we're gonna start off with this. Is not the what color paperwork did I use? Y'all know I'll be writing on backs of paperwork, and that'd be part of my problem. I write on all backs. Here we go. Thank the producer Jay. You know I appreciate
you. So let's just keep it real, because see, let's just keep your audience in the flow. So there is actually a way that you can add your run a show to the StreamYard. So
I ain't doing that.
And you know, she is so stubborn that she will not do it. And it takes 2 seconds.
Yeah, and y'all know it's like some things y'all just not gonna do. You know, that's just one of the things I'm just like not interested in doing. If I have to do the run a show, get the content, producer Jay, who has a new segment that we don't know about, he can put it into the what's the name. I can even get the background together. Look, y'all see my yoga mat, my 6-1 mat in the background. I got a lot going on. So hey, Reed Johnson, Jonathan Joy, how you doing? KDM. Listen, people understand my plight. So listen, 6th Ward community meeting, and I don't care where you're from, there's going to be some good information here. We've got some great additions to the 6th Ward. We now have Hasselbrink Center. We have House of Esther that will be there. We've got some great things. They're at Calvary Church. So in the 6th Ward, we're building bridges. We're listening to the needs of the people and making sure we make it happen. So 6th Ward Community Engagement Meeting will be Monday, October the 6th at 6 p.m. at Bethel United Methodist Church at 1309 Ballinger Highway. It's going to be at 6 o'clock. We're going to have some special guests there. I'm not going to tell everyone, that's going to be there, but look, y'all don't want to miss this. It's going to be good. It's going to be very informational. Otherwise, I would not waste my time and y'all's. Hey, Reed Johnson, Denise Cousins, KDM. And so it's things that we need to talk about. It is me bringing my ward together because right now my boundaries are kind of all over. So I take calls technically because with the 6th Ward, it would be from Welch all the way to Miller Road to El Dorado, Flushing to DuPont. And that is all residential majority, 95%. And so I cover a big area. And my residents like to call a lot. 7 days a week, I'm taking the call. Most calls that I talked to somebody in one day was 39. That's a 3 and a 9. And so if you understand, I get a lot of calls. And holidays, they just call. They call. So, but we're building community relations. So I hope to see everyone there. And then if you're in there, please share it. You do not have to be from my ward. Some of the things that we're going to talk about, which is gun violence. We're going to talk about senior services. We're going to talk about issues with blight and dogs. I don't know why people keep dropping their dogs and dog fighting rings. These are all problems. And there's some other things that we're going to talk about. And so I do have 6 organizations in my ward. I have 6. And so I make a point of meeting. A lot of times they're at the same time as the council meetings, but I make sure that I attend and keep abreast of things. So this Monday, 6 o'clock, and it's for everyone. Anyone in the city of Flint, you are welcome to come to listen because there are some people there you're going to want to talk to and you're going to have some questions. So the next thing, look, thank you. Can you make that one big? So that one is that as big as it goes? Look, y'all, those are lawnmowers. Sixth Ward Mott Park is going green with electric mowers to use free in a tool shed. Now, this has been a long time coming. So you see them all nice in the box sitting in there. So there is about $58,000 done in that garage to make it waterproof, safe, any hazards. And then now we have got tools for taking care of your lawn. One of the number one complaints that I get, I don't know, now they think I'm the police because now it's well checks, but it's because residents with grass. So you can go and grab a lawnmower, bring it back, and it's for free. I wanted to make sure that my ARPA funds, we all received $30,000. Some pay for a one-time cut. I didn't believe in that. I wanted something to do that would be impactful. And so making sure, working with the Mott Park Association, half of my funds went to having Sixth Ward going green. So you can come and, get a lawnmower, it's electric lawnmower. You can get blowers. You can get some of the tools that are needed to take care of your lawn. So there is no reason why people shouldn't have their lawn. And look, here's the other part. You don't have to be from the Sixth Ward, but you got to be from the city of Flint. And so this is to make sure that we are keeping our city clean, safe, and uniform. So I'm so proud of the boxes, and it was used with Ace Hardware. We got those estimates probably about a year and a half ago, which has been located, Art Beecham, which is on Pearson Road. That one is located in the First Ward. And so we're going green. So like I say, we wanted to make an impact. I wanted to make sure I could not just do one cut, but many cuts, and to make sure we could do something great for the community. And working with the Mott Park Board, this is what we came up with, and it's for residents to use. Residents. And so this is just a wonderful thing. Now, when you finally see them sitting there, you're like, this is what I work for. And this makes my heart smile. This makes my heart smile. So, hey, Bear Biggs. So, hey, Danielle Moore. So the other thing that we are going to go into is, so a lot of you, and I'm going to try to move it along so we're not on for, what's the longest amount we've been on? Was it 5.5 hours?
Try again. Carl Lewis said you were good for 5, but you actually been 6.
Man, stop it. We ain't going to be on that long because your girl ain't got all of that. Carl Lewis is fun tea. Okay, Carl Lewis. So some of the things I want, going green, I'm going to talk about that at the meeting, because this is something I would like to, Michelle, I ain't been on 7 hours, that I would like to see throughout communities that care. When we were in Grand Rapids at the convention, one of the things that, as I have traveled, and I've traveled a lot of places, some of the best places where you live is where you feel clean and safe, and things are uniform. And that to me is it's getting to a goal, and where you care for the people. You care for the people. One of the longest things that we've done is, I'm going to say the resolution that's been presented the most for funding was the resolution with St. Mark Baptist Church. I don't know how many times, we had that presented, and they kept voting it down. We started at 50. No. Then we took it down 25. Then we put it down with some other people. And then it finally got approved. And St. Mark did have a devastating fire, but they were approved for the $25,000. They had a food drive today. And I want to say thank you to all of you who supported when people will say, well, I wouldn't ask them for nothing. And for those who said, no, that's ARPA money. That's the people's money. And there was, Pastor Thompson and the church and the outreach were able to give a food drive because they have that $25,000 that is in their in the Eastern Food Bank coffers. That resolution was put on there so many times. I'm like, every day that I'm here for council meeting, I need to put that on. Can we add that, please? Put it on the agenda. I was not giving up. That's the people's money. And so they'll wait you out. They'll wait you out or try to. So real quick, so for those who have followed, you need to start following the news. I was astounded. I posted on my page, "Hey Jessica, how you doing?" My mother, who was on the phone, her last call was at 2:55 a.m. I think I got off with my dad last night about 2:30 a.m. because at the end of the day, they're generally my last phone calls. And so some of the things that are happening, the Supreme Court, Lisa Cook, where President Trump was trying to remove her. They have told her that she gets to stay there until she's with the Federal Reserve, and she'll be there until the case is heard. And I think it's January. So that has been a win. But if you did not watch that general one, y'all need to watch it, because some of did I send you the thing? Reuters news, where they had that and that general's meeting. But before you do that, since we're doing announcements, put up Art's thing, if you could, please. And then let me go and read it. So Arthur Woodson he's been working with the Cancer Cluster Study. Debbie Clark, I'm going to get that one. So I'm hearing that. Thank you. So there will be a Flint City Community Webinar October the 10th, 2025 at 12 o'clock p.m. There will be, darn diggity. I don't know if you have to register. It's for unusual cancer patterns in Flint, Michigan. This looks like it's going to be a Zoom at 12 o'clock p.m. The information is on Arthur Woodson's page. So they have a panel of people, and you can go over to his page to see. He will be a speaker on there. He's over, if y'all see him, he down there looking like a professor. He the bottom row over on the end, looking very studious. So 12 o'clock p.m. I don't see how it says how to connect.
It says I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
It says to register, there's a QR code that's in the bottom right-hand corner that says register here.
Okay. So you got to register with the QR code, and it's down at the bottom. You go to Arthur Woodson's page, and it's over there. So we support cancer cluster studies and good work that's being done in our community. This is on his page. This has been his passion. He had his aunt and cousin who died of aggressive cancers, and this has been his passion. So we are supporting that. So I want to go on to, do you have the Reuters one? Did I send you that one?
No, I didn't get that one. I just looked.
Okay, well, I know I got it. So I was watching Disturbingly, and literally it was Disturbingly. I thought I sent you that. You may have a couple things that you may not have then. And so I was watching, I don't know which one I did this on, but the general's meeting. And I'm going to tell you guys something. I'm not on Facebook every day, but I became extremely alarmed. And I'm looking at how the First Amendment is being attacked. I'm looking at the generals that were all called down to, Virginia. And it was really shocking to me. And listening to the conversation, I must say the rhetoric. And I want to say first, thank you to those who do serve. Generals, you didn't see it. Generals in Virginia.
No,
And so
I just looked again. I went all the way up top. I didn't see anything.
Okay, no worries. I'm going to send it to you. So this is not the time to not become engaged. This is not the time. And I'm going to tell you why. When you listen to this, listen to it with your children. Like force them. Like if you got like handcuff them to the chair, you got like take their phones, cut the internet off, that you got to watch this until you need to have them watch it because it's so much propaganda. And the propaganda is dangerous. And so in this headline, it talks about he called them fat generals and fat commanders. He didn't want any there. I mean, just the total disrespect for the armed services. When our president is a Dodge drafter who is not in shape himself. And so, hey, Daryl Simpson. And so Denise Gunn said, I watch the generals and pretty telling how they feel about Trump. Yeah, that part. Hey, Bishop Priestley. And so when I'm watching this and you look at, so generals have a protocol, they're not to be showing, they're very stoic. Very stoic. And so he literally said, there's two N words we can't say. There's two N words. Y'all can figure which two. One had to do with black people and the other one had to do, you can figure it out. Then he called them fat people. Did it come to you? Bless me. Producer Jay, did it come? So it says head Speth, whatever. He changed Hedge Seth slams fat generals. Trump touts cities as troop training grounds. And so, and he kept using words like the coded language, the war within. And then they talked about the cities. So all of those cities are urban cities. Those are where we are largely populated by minorities, people of color, and we got to have, it's the war within. So they're already in DC. They're going to be other places because they don't have any limit. And then I was listening to him. It's like, well, we really hadn't have a war. I was comparing it to the Gulf War. And I mean, you got to pay attention, people, because what they want is for us to not become engaged. There's so much coded language. So some of the things that they stated, which were women are going to have to pass the same agility test as the men. Height's a part of it. For black men with beards, because when you shave, you have shave bumps. If you don't have a if you cannot have a clean shaven face, and because some black skin is different, then he told him to go join something else. If you got to have a beard or that, tell him to join someplace else. Then he had stated all of these ridiculous things. He literally probably 5 to 8 minutes in, he used FAFO, F around and find out. You are what he calls now the Secretary of War. He used to be the Secretary of State. Hillary Clinton was the Secretary of State. General Colin Powell was the Secretary of State. And now it is the Department of War. He is the war. It is the Department of War, and he is the Secretary of War. I believe I sent you some slides. So what they did by calling him the Secretary of War, hey Dragon, and who else? If I missed your name, is the Secretary of War and the Department of War. It was in 1949, they changed the Department of War to the Department of Defense. And so they took us back 76 years. 76 years. I'm assuming, I think that's when they thought America was great again. 76 years, they took us back. We haven't had no Department of War. Y'all remember them old black and white movies where they were kind of grainy and Uncle Sam was in them? You can Google them. And it's, everyone wants to be in the military and I'm like, so you're taking us back 76 years. They're taking us back to the point before people didn't have the rights. There's no civil rights. You didn't have the right to live where you wanted to. They're talking about you got to be married and your husband is going to be, you can't have a bank account. I mean, they've taken us back to a time where, frankly, I'm not trying to go at all. And so we don't have, in my opinion, to take a break now because this is so ridiculous. It's not ridiculous. They're doing it. They're not just talking, they're enacting it and they're doing it. Who would have ever thought they would have troops in Washington, D.C. cleaning up the parks? Detroit's probably going to be next. He talked about Chicago, and J.D. Vance said, if you want us in Detroit, Governor Whitmer, we'll come there. This isn't funny to me. We don't want a government. This is not, was it North Korea? And so we got to pay attention and let your kids, we can't be asleep at the wheel. We cannot be. And there's so much coded language. We went back 76 years to a Department of War with the Secretary of War because they liked it when there was white privilege. White privilege. They gave tax cuts, or they took money from the poor, gave them to the top 1%, their friends, the billionaires. They didn't need more money. The country is shut down now. And they're saying, oh, it's the Democrats. No, this is your war. In 2013, Donald Trump stated that it would take a poor leader if you could not stop the country from having a shutdown. Well, you have a shutdown. So is that stating he's a poor leader? When it's affected, the different type or the medical programs and the Medicaid, this is a problem, and it's hurting families. If you have a child who, say who was at a children's hospital with cancer, leukemia, it's expensive. It's expensive. And so they're cutting these programs, which essentially is cutting life. And so when we look at, someone sent me a difference in what the plans would be for health, and then we're going to move on. So a medical bill was changing from a monthly bill with him and his family. He lives in Atlanta. And it went from, no, come on. Okay. So the bill is going to go with Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield from $559.69. And I need to send this to you, to $2,131.65 per month. Rich people have it. They don't even need insurance. They're rich. We get sick and it's a problem. So basically it's survival of the fittest. Then I already told us in the military that, if you a little overweight, you don't want to see no fat generals, and commanders. And so when we look at these differences, this is real. It's not a plaything. It is very real. You will get left behind. Okay. I don't know where the clips are at, Producer Jay. I did just send you the picture. It's a hard watch. But if you want to play some of it, let's play some of it. Because I'm serious, y'all, watch it with your children. Because, this stuff, and they're moving stuff. No other president has so many executive orders. No one. Everything that they said that 2025, they're doing it. And they're just sending it through. Yes, his big, beautiful bill. That too. Producer Jay.
It all starts with physical fitness and appearance. If the Secretary of War can do regular, hard PT, so can every member of our joint force. Frankly, it's tiring to look out at combat formations, or really any formation, and see fat troops. Likewise, it's completely unacceptable to see fat generals and admirals in the halls of the Pentagon and leading commands around the country and the world. It's a bad look. It is bad, and it's not who we are. So whether you're an airborne ranger or a chairborne ranger, a brand new private or a 4-star general, you need to meet the height and weight standards and pass your PT test. And as the chairman said, yes, there is no PT test. But today, at my direction, every member of the Joint Force at every rank is required to take a PT test twice a year, as well as meet height and weight requirements twice a year, every year of service. Also today, at my direction, every warrior across our Joint Force is required to do PT every duty day. Should be common sense. I mean, most units do that already, but we're codifying it. And we're not talking like hot yoga and stretching. Real hard PT, either as a unit or as an individual. At every level, from the Joint Chiefs to everyone in this room to the youngest private, leaders set the standard. And so many of you do this already. Active, Guard, and Reserve.
We thank.
So, and some of his words were, he spoke about culture, because we know we use it as Black people, the culture. And the being woke. They hate the word woke. And yeah, stay woke, because listen, you need to stay woke. We all do. The people's wrong people for the right reasons. In other words, affirmative action is gone. You know, DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion, gone. Then he called it the woke garbage. This is the most unprofessional administration ever in time. The litmus test, you must pass it. You know, the overly sensitive leadership, no more LGBTQ+1. I mean, and just he tells you, you watch it, he tells you, believe him. He tells you. He didn't stand behind the podium or the lectern. It was really like a motivational speak, because he walked around, he taught, he put his hands together. He didn't want it to be informal. And a lot of this is what they're doing. But the generals were just kind of like, what in the man mess is this? And, you know, to show the show of force, I've got the power to bring all these generals here because I'm a powerful man. And we need to be careful, because he's going to put us in the war. Their kids aren't going to go to war, guaranteed. You know, the fat generals and commanders, you know, that was a problem. But stay informed. The link is on my page. You know, if you watch it, and then we can have a talking session, you know, because I've never seen anything like this. I didn't think that I would ever. And it reminded me, when you know your history, that it took you back to a time of dictators, Hitler. It took you back to a time where you heard a lot of propaganda about things in coded language, you know, things that we know that led to people being slaughtered, misplaced, displaced. And this is a scary time. And they're doing it in the face. Don't take it as a joke. It's serious, and it's not a joke. It's not a joke. So I just wanted to make sure, you know, I talked about that, because it seems to be in leadership, this kind of steamroll over the people. We're going to lie, and the lies. Lord Jesus, I watched the press conference the next day with the press secretary and JD Vance. Unbelievable. Just the lies. And what did he say when they were running? Well, it's okay to lie. This is what JD Vance. Now, he's such a Christian, but it's okay to lie. When did it become okay to lie? So do we have the bill? Can we put that? This is a Blue Cross Blue Shield. Thank you. And so this is one Anthem Bronze, a Blue Value Blue Cross Blue Shield. And so the bill is going to go from $559 up to $2,131.65. So because of they want to continue to take, and they keep saying, well, the immigrants can get insurance and the people, No, that is a lie. They are not qualified. Illegal immigrants are not qualified to be on federal programs. They're not. It's the lies, the lies, the lies that they keep telling. And then they say it's the Democrats' fault. Y'all have the House and the Senate, I believe. The House and the Senate. It's just poor governing. And so look what they're doing with the farmers. The farmers, we're supporting them. Look what they're doing to the farmers. Land's going to be probably sold, bought up for very cheap. Been in the families for generations. It's an honorable thing to work the land, our food supply. Food is high, high, higher than somebody that's been broken to one of those dispensaries, spent the night in there, sampling all the good stuff on the top shelf. Them groceries are high. And so, thank you, JP6. They do. They have the House and the Senate and the presidency, that part. And so I went grocery shopping and I'm like, they're slowly going up. And so when we look at someone's bill, where are they going to find the extra $1,500, $1,600 for health care per month? Affordable health care in America, everyone should be able to receive that. Every American should be able to have affordable health care. You should not have to choose between health care, your mortgage, and your medication. Nobody living in the United States should have to choose between health care, their mortgage, and their medication. And they are, and including our seniors. And this is a problem. Why don't our people speak up? We can't sit back. It's more good people than it is crazy people with crazy idyllic ways that roll us back 76 years. 76 years ago, look, Black folks couldn't vote. 76 years ago, there wasn't equal housing. I mean, you look at what it's doing. It's stopping generational wealth. It's stopping it. And so I want people to stay. They're saying, oh, the woke culture. Stay woke. Stay woke. Eyes wide open. Stay woke. This is the reality. This is very real. This is what it's going to charge. His name is Bertram. This is what it's going to charge his family's change. I'm just telling you, this is a problem. And so we need to stay woke. Watch the news and share. If it's good stuff to share, you find good information, send it to me and I'll share it. And we can talk about it. But I don't like, we have women who have who are in the military. Now you got to pass the litmus test. Women, we aren't as tall as men. And we don't grow that tall. I mean, we just don't. You got to be a certain height. Well, we cutting out women there. You can't, if you can't shave, you got skin problems with like Black people we do, you can't be in certain parts of the military. This is a problem. They're excluding people. This country was supposed to be the melting pot. It's supposed to be inclusiveness. That makes us greater when we're inclusive. This is not being inclusive. Y'all need to watch that. You need to watch it. So we're going to go on. So we had to look, we're going to be out of here on a decent time, Producer Jay. So, that was another phone. So 922, that loitering, and the, what do you call it? There was a George Floyd one. Judy's councilwoman, the 4th Ward, said she wasn't supporting the George Floyd resolution, and she didn't. She didn't. So there were 2 resolutions were introduced by Councilman Lee Alameen of the 1st Ward that lives in Mount Morris Township, according to the paperwork he signed on my PPO and the other. He had 9 PPOs. We went to the office to get them. 9. Talking about abuse of personal protection orders. There were 9. 9. NINE. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It was 9. 9. NINE. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9. 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 9 of them, which is crazy to me. And he said he lives at a place in Mount Morris Township. And keep Kiki and other women who have been through domestic violence in your prayers. Keep them in your prayers, because it's hard when you decide that you want to leave and to tell your story, because people will lie and tell you it didn't happen. Kiki's got the bruises over the years that shows it happened, that it happened. So, Producer Jay, I got to go back to my show.
Yeah.
Okay. So I want to go on to opioid expenditure chart. So one of the things, y'all know I love a plan. The plan works. Club Sunoco 3-point action plan. They was making videos. It was Club Sunoco. I'm like, why do people want to party at the gas station? And they would party at the gas station. It was the thing. And I wrote an action plan. Thank you. Talked with Chief Green and worked with the owner, Tony. Club Sunoco has not had those problems since 2021. Our action plan, and the action plan work. When we get involved in our communities, we make the change, and it shows. I was not elected, but I was tired of the gunshots, and it was embarrassing. It was embarrassing. So so I did ask for, and so full disclosure, I did ask for how much money was spent in the opioids. I needed the dates of the transactions, and I wanted the resolutions. I didn't get all of that. So out of the opioid money, you can spend up to 30% of it on something other than dealing with opioid money. So this is what they have been spending it on. So I gotta go back and pull it up to look at it, because I can't read it like that. So it has went for and let me be clear, there is no opioid plan. There is no public safety plan. There is none. I have been asking for that, and actually the opioid plan should be embedded into the public safety plan, because that's one of the calls that our police department frequently get is for opioid and overdose. We have a problem in our city and our community with opioid overdose. We have a problem. So the monies that have been spent with no opioid plan, some of these did not come through council, just so that you know. So they spent $1,358,368.10. That's the cumulative amount that was spent. So category, subcategory, and they did not do this very well. So public health, they did $330,000. There was donations with love, mental health, $50,000. Insight mental health, $200,000. Made Institute, $150,000. Made Institute, $150,000. Then there's some other one, which on the check register, which I have asked again for the check register to update. Haven't gotten it yet. I asked to have it monthly sent. They haven't did it. And they just don't. They just don't do their job. And with them 5 votes, we have a problem. Serenity House, $50,000. Ambulance service, $225,000. That's to purchase new ones. Professional development administration requests, $4,634.12. That's administration mayor. That's out the mayor's office. Clio Road location administration request, $17,631. Ambulance unit number 2, $177,149.72. Public health office resolution, $81,300. Oh no, there's the resolutions on here, y'all. They are. I don't have a copy of the one for the Made Institute though. I did ask for a copy, and the dates. The dates are not on here. Public Health Office, $81,318.21. Flint Odyssey House, that's blank. Life and Safety Rescue Equipment, $68,788.43. Blight Demolitions, that's taken off. Saki, that is sexual abuse, kids, sexual abuse. That one is $3,846. So this is not the full list. This is as of 6:30. We into October, and I just got this the last meeting. And so this is the type of BS that pisses me off and is so unprofessional, because we know what they missing. I don't want the June. You gave me this the end of September, middle of September, that ended in June. No, that's not what I asked for. And so this is the problem. How much of the opioid money is being spent? How much is being spent? Was it approved? If it's under $75,000, we know that it can. They paid for that Clio Road 2 payments of $55,000. They signed a lease. They entered into a lease without city council approval. That's against the city charter. We did not give them permission to enter into a lease. We did not. Getting legal opinions take a while to get them. And so for those who want to know the opioid money, this is it. I believe in being transparent with it. And so that's what that is. That's the opioid money. No opioid plan. The ARPA money, still waiting on it. Line item detail, what's spent, what categories, what's left. Still waiting on it. It took 10 months to get the check registered with this administration. So I did get some interesting news, but someone just asked me, are they talking about, was it Debbie or Diane? They asked about will people have to email in to public speak? I'm hearing it around City Hall that they're changing it, that if you want to speak at City Council, that they want it like Detroit. And Detroit's, you have to call in. You have to call it or send an email. And then they fill out a slip for you. Here's my thing. We have the worst broadband internet in Genesee County. When I rode around with Dennis in his car with the award tour, it didn't work most of the time. It was dropped. It was graining. It was tiling. And so they actually want people, because they're trying to stop the public from engaging. They don't care. One lie, the other one swear by it. And that is not good government, and it's not good policy. And they set the tone. They set the tone for this community to separate and dominate, to separate and dominate. And so, yes, it's what I'm hearing, that this is, the talks are, you're going to have to, email in like Detroit. The difference is Detroit has a population, I think, of 700,000, around 700,000 people. We barely are hitting like 80 maybe. And so it's not the same. This is not the same. And so when we talk about the differences and the links that they're going through to shut the voices down, it's a lot. And so in Detroit, what they do, and like I said, and Detroit is different. Detroit is different. You would think, I don't think they think, because literally and we're going to get into that after this next. We're going to get into when they told the lie that they met with Chief Green. And don't mistake me if I'm wrong, but I do believe back in the day, because Chief Green worked narcotics, I think he helped to put Leon in prison. He was putting everybody in prison. Matter of fact, Chief Green did put one of my uncles in. He thought he was a drug dealer too, but he didn't change his little ways. He didn't, that was his job. He worked narcotics in the day. And so now all of a sudden he got a kumbaya. No, I don't think so. And at that article, but let me, so in Detroit, I'm sorry. So in Detroit, like I said, you will have to call in registered by email. Now, what is that going to do for REO? What is that going to do for a lot of people? We already have the deaf community. Sarah Houston rightfully is saying, hey, we need to do something. What about equal access? Why would it be in the interest to make it more difficult for people to attend? That should not be our goal. That should not be our goal at all, to make it more difficult. And that's what they're doing. So to speak at a Detroit City Council meeting, you can provide public comment during formal sessions, provide sessions, participate in committee meetings, or submit your comments in writing via email. This is what they want. They want to be and make it similar to my understanding, which is an issue. I am going to be, I think the Michigan Municipal League might be tired of me asking questions at this point, because I'm so disappointed in our government. And people don't feel good about our government. They do not feel good about it. They just don't. So this is what I'm hearing. I haven't seen it yet. I think Debbie or Diane asked. I haven't seen it, but yeah, this is what I'm hearing. This is what I'm hearing. And so you'd be surprised who watches our city council meetings, because I know people from all over do. So listen, y'all. Awesome. Because it bugs Liddell. Please feel free to donate kindly. Literally at the Michigan Municipal League, she had the promise. She raised her hand. The only question she asked was, we got a council person who podcast, and she streams the city live, and they take donations, and she's making money. I don't make a dime. I have not taken a dime. I have paid because I want to make sure information is getting out to you. We can see that they're moving like Trump. Shut it down. Shut it down. Don't allow people to talk. Don't give people the information. I'm not making anything. Zero. Producer Jay.
Yes, ma'am.
Do I take anything? Do I get anything? Do I make anything off of this?
The $600,000 donation we got in, you got that.
Oh, well, listen, we ain't supposed to tell about that. No, listen,
no, not
if we get that, I'm gonna be somewhere, getting a tan, because that's what I need is a tan.
We'll be somewhere in the Caribbean broadcasting shows if that happens.
That part. with drinks with that are in coconuts with the umbrella and a big long straw. So I am not making any money off of this. And specifically because I knew these are the type of people that they like to continue to lie. I have told them I'm not making money. This is not what it's for. It's not. And they continue to, Liddell Lewis continues to lie. And I had a meeting with her today on Zoom with one of the city attorneys, Ms. Darrow, and it is about fighting with kids, working on a resolution. And I'm just not allowing them to take me where she want to be. And so she likes to take shots. And so I try to stay poised as I can and stick to the topics. And so literally she just said, well, yeah, you like to, you said you never work with me. No, that was not me. That was Councilwoman Jerry Ricardo said she never worked with you because your spirit was bad. Well, you said you don't like me. That is correct, and I still don't. But this is about the kids. This is not about our liking each other or my disdain for you. It's not about that. This is about working together for the kids. Doesn't require us to like each other. But she's a likability expert. Shouldn't you know that? When you're a likability expert, you should know that. My goal is let's stop the shootings for the kids, the fighting in the schools, and it requires us to reach out to other people. And I had some great conversations with some school board members today. I did. I had some great ones with some school board. So that is going to be coming up as we're working on that, because I want our kids to, I know the person that I was at 16, 17, I was not that person at 30. 25, I wasn't. And so I want to make sure if it's something we can do to help our community and our children, and especially with the games, I'm going to do it. And that includes me being civil in this meeting with her and staying focused on the business of the people in the city. Simple as that. So I just want to clear that part up. Tonya Burns makes $0 off of this. 0, 0, 0. And the length of my show just really unnerves them. Yeah. Oh, there all day. I hope you got enough content. Girl, don't play with me because I got jokes. I'll come right back at you. I will do that. So we're gonna go on to Producer J. You still with me, y'all? Look, please feel free to donate to Producer J. Cash App Producer J 1987. Producer J 1987.
And also don't forget to like and share too.
Oh yeah, y'all look, like, share, like and share, like and share. Do a little shimmy, like and share. Hit that like button. Hey, Clack. Hey, Clack, hey, Clack, hey, Clack. Oh, Clack, I need you to come on because I did not watch, and I had several people tell me that I see, and this is kind of off topic, y'all, about your mother receiving an award. Congratulations to Mrs. Brenda Clack. But we need to shoot him a little what's the angle. He can come in here because I didn't get a chance to see it. I would like for you, if you have an invitation to come on, if you want to come on today, tonight, preferably, now is good. Because I heard you got down there to give the award and for your mom to receive the reward, the acknowledgement. And it was supposed to be given by the state representative. His mother was a state rep. And his father. And he got down there. He said he drive, but you can talk. Can you? Oh, okay. Dial in on 810.
I sent him. He said send the link, so I sent the link.
He said he's driving.
I mean, he probably can't turn the camera on, but he can talk.
Right. Well, I don't know if he can do all of that, but yeah, you don't have to cut the camera on if you want to. You can just call, and we ain't got to see you. Clack, what you doing? What you doing? Or you can call at 810-471-7849. You can call 8104. Oh, hey!
What's going on?
What's going on? So listen, I did not get a chance. First of all, I had a conversation with somebody. It was literally 6:24 a.m. This person called me. They texted me at 6:23 and said, "Are you up?" I said, "I'm up. I haven't been to bed. I had a deadline to meet." And they went to tell me before we got off the phone about you were down there to get the reward. Tell me what happened. And tell everybody.
The award was for my dad. They were honoring my dad. Yeah, they were honoring my dad for his years of, years of service as a state representative. And I had been corresponding back and forth with I think it's the Memorial Department. I forgot exactly what department it is who gives the awards, but the gentleman's name is Garrett. And he had sent over a draft of the resolution and everything. So we had made corrections, and my mom made some additions and took some things out. And so I had been corresponding with him all week. And so they sent me the agenda of how things were supposed to go. They were going to call to order the session, and then they were going to vote as a body to accept the resolution to honor my dad. And the state representative was supposed to present the family and present the resolution to the family and introduce the family and my mom to the rest of the the legislature. Well, what happened was we were under the impression up until about 2 minutes before they said the Pledge of Allegiance, before they started the meeting, not the Pledge of Allegiance before they started the meeting, that the representative was going to be there. And Representative Martis, he came, and I had made a list of people who were going to be on the floor, and then there was a list of guests who were up in the mezzanine. So Jasper came, and he had the list of people who we had put on the guest list to sit on the floor. And then he came back right before we started. And I was like, what, why is Jasper doing this? You know? And then they did the whole ceremony. And at the end, the speakers asked for the guest of Representative Martis to stand. And so we were looking like, who is his guest? And the rep behind us from Detroit, Representative McKinney, he said, I think they're talking about y'all. So we stood up, and he apologized. Garrett is the gentleman's name. He apologized because he was under the impression that the rep was going to be there, you know, because that's you know, as a courtesy, that's my parents, both of my parents were state representatives. And as a courtesy from one rep to two other representatives, someone should have at least, you know, been there to greet us, or at least say, you know, go over here or go there. But there was nobody from our representative there. We didn't see anybody from her office. We didn't know that. We still haven't heard anything from her saying, you know, I apologize for not being there.
Oh, you're not going to hear that.
No, I know.
And it's so extremely tacky. So congratulations to your dad. I don't know if I ever told you, your dad would come down there. My dad would be, he would come to the Golden Leaf. And if you can sit on that porch and talk politics with the men, they don't play. Your dad, your dad was teaching at Davenport University. I don't remember what class I had him for, but I had him for some courses. I did. So first of all, you didn't know until 2 minutes before.
Well, we knew that when they came in, everybody had hit their name that they were present, and their name showed up on, you know, on the board. And I knew that because we were sitting right on the floor where the rep would be sitting, you know, she would have been sitting in between my mother and myself. So we knew that she hadn't showed up. All the reps kept coming in, and everybody kept, you know, coming over to my mom because she knew a lot of people. And a lot of people had so many kind words to say about my dad. It was just, I just can't see how you can hold that position and not, that's part of your job. You know what I mean? Like that is part of your job when you get elected into that role, is to do certain things. And if the role if it's necessary for you to show some type of honor to your predecessor, one of your predecessors, and you can't do that, you know, that says a lot. You know, like it says a lot, and it didn't hurt my feelings. It pissed me off, you know, because my mom was she was a little upset, and to see her upset about it, and that's what pissed me off. I already know how they get down, and whatever issues that they have with me, you know, it seems like, you know, that's why, you know, it could have been why, you know, they didn't, or she didn't, you know.
Right. So I think it is, and I'm looking in the comments, and people are saying it's so disrespectful. It is, because there's protocol. And even if you don't like someone, you deal with them because it's the professional. And there's a standard. And so when they break the standard, and etiquette, it's etiquette. Etiquette. And there is lack of etiquette. And I'm sorry that happened. That shouldn't happen. That's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. You know, that he was being honored, and your parents have had, and you were there to honor your father, a lifelong, full of public service. And she didn't say she's not going to be there. Look, she ain't send a note. She ain't send an email. Wow.
No, and not even, you know, and I know that later we found out that she was in Washington, D.C. fundraising, but everybody from her office wasn't in Washington, D.C. There was a staffer, somebody could have, you know, at least ushered us in. But if it wasn't for Representative, I think it was Postumus, or I can't remember the name or how to pronounce the name. That's who office we met up in. That was like the, you know, ground zero from where we were. And then Jasper came in, Representative Martis came through. And I'm really thankful to him for what he did, because it was just, you know, it was like that. And he stood there, he stood in the gap with us, and he didn't miss a beat. Like everything was smooth, like he had planned it, but he had nothing to do with it.
And that's unfortunate. And I was just like, what? When I heard it, because I think our community is not that big of a community. And it is a reasonable expectation that the person who is elected be there to do the job or have someone in her place, prepared to do it. And that to me, that's a problem because, your dad, he lived politics, even in his little spare time, sitting on that little porch at Golden League, him, my father, all of the men out there, and to hang on that porch and talk politics was something. And he was there supporting the people. He inspired a lot of people. And I never even told you I had a class with your father.
No, you didn't.
I had a class with him. And so I hate to see that happen. It's an embarrassment that Jasper Martis, State Representative Jasper Martis, had to fill in the gap. Thank God he did, because once again, she's missing in action. How many votes has she missed? Is it over 300 now?
Well, I'm not sure how many since, there was 211 when I made a video last year. And it seems like I think I read somewhere there was 285 one other year. But that could, I'm not sure about that. But I do know that up until last week, there was when they started, when they made the agreement on the budget, our representative was not present. And there was 11 votes that she missed at one day when they were in DC. And that was all, I want to say budget related. There were things that were in there that were related to the budget that we didn't have. But I am glad that I got an email from Representative Cherry's office today about the St. Mark is in the budget. Did you see that? They got 1.25 that's in the budget.
Yeah, well, look, I called him about the 1.5 they didn't get. I don't mince. I did not see that, so I'm glad that they have rectified that. Because he was supposed to get 1.5. Because we don't have representation, it went to St. Mark's Episcopal Church in Grand Rapids. He thought he was getting it. He received a letter. I called Senator John Cherry and said, hey, we have a problem here. Because that is the job of the elected officials, to look out for our community. That's their job. Yeah. That is their job. So, so she didn't make sure he got the money last year. We know that council didn't want to give Pastor Thompson $50,000 or $25,000. That resolution for St. Mark has got to be the most presented resolution ever. Because, put that baby back on there. Put that baby back on there. Put it back on there. What we don't do is give up. That we don't do. So that's good that he's getting $1.2 million for the church, because they've been working without pay. And people don't know that, but y'all know now. And to make sure that there are services for the people in the church, for the community. He does mental health. He works with the youth. He works with the veterans. He works with homeless people. They have a food program. So all of these are essential services that we need in our community, located in the 2nd ward.
And an open gym. He's got open gym too.
I know. Yeah. Because the kids are scared. The young people are scared to play at the court over, at the park, because they don't want to get shot. So they like to play inside the building so that they don't get shot. So it's a safety issue. And we don't have a state rep looking out for the needs of our community that she's supposed to serve. That's a problem. But to not even call and have a staffer, that's a problem.
It's even bigger than that, because they didn't communicate with the memorial department in Lansing. So
are you serious?
Yeah, the man was under the impression, because he apologized right before they started the session. He said, Mike, I'm sorry, we thought that she was going to be here. And that was 2 or 3 minutes before we started. So he was under the impression that she was going to be there as well. So in my mind, I kind of was like 80-20 that I don't think she's going to show, because she was going to have to get up there and present it to presented to, of course I'm going to be standing right there. So, her husband wasn't going to want to see that happen, but, and of course, I was going to be so extra with it, with the posing and everything. So he didn't want to see that happen. But what I will say,
it's the etiquette, Mayor
yeah.
Miller, full disclosure, lacks etiquette. When it came to even the Oak Park sign, my dad gave the Oak Park sign. He literally strong armed Ashley Capital and told him he was not going to, only people could speak was him and Liddell, and that he didn't want me to speak. I give him back the sign, work with them for being refurbished, make sure we got the 8 votes, because moving the community forward. Also gave him the old Baker and North Street sign, because that was, I guess, part of my inheritance, some signs. And what I did was donate it back to the community because the park was given new life. Literally, they canceled the program because the mayor was having a temper tantrum. He literally had a grown man temper tantrum. She can't speak. I don't want her speaking. She can't speak. He is dividing our city. He is divided. And because my dad is older, I have 2 dads, and both of them are equal. I love them both. And if my dad, he walks with a cane now. And I was like, Daddy, I'm going because I want you to be able to see, because we lived at North and Baker when I was born, and we had a duplex, and my parents both worked at Buick at the time. And I said, I want to see, you be able to see this. And I wanted to share this moment with you. So the mayor didn't want me to speak. He had nothing to contribute but his garbage. When you are a leader, it is the etiquette. Cindy should have been there for you. She should have been there for your mother. She should have been there to present it. That's her job. You can hate me, but do your job. I did a whole Zoom with Liddell, and she hates my guts, and I'm okay with it. I'm okay. But my thing is, when you allow, and they allow the hate and the pettiness to consume them, that they divide our community. He divided. Now, they gave your mom and dad keys to the city.
I told them not to accept it. I told them they was going to unlock no doors. Them wasn't the keys to Flint. Them was the keys to, I don't know. But I told them I told my mom that was a photo opportunity, and he was going to use that at a different time for.
Oh, he cropped you out of it, didn't he?
I wasn't mad about that. I didn't want to be in the picture with his ass anyway. But it was the fact that he made it seem like he and my dad were companions, or they were close at some point, or they were, and I'm like, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. So,
well, congratulations to the late great Mr. Floyd Clack for his service. The state rep should have been there. Nothing just surprising. I have had so many disappointments with them. You don't have to like someone to do ceremonial things, and that's part of the job. That was ceremonial, and they didn't do that right. But I remember when she called me, and she kept trying to call me. My phone, if I don't know you are not getting through to my personal cell phone. And so she had called several times. My phone does not ring. And so then she had to unblock your number when you send it. Look, call through with your regular. We're talking woman to woman. And she called me and she said to me, hi, Tonya. I said, hey, Cindy, how are you? I'm good, but I don't appreciate you giving my phone number, giving my address, give my address to that girl that came to my house. If she got to, I said, hold on, who you think you're talking to? No. I said, who are you talking about? And who are you talking to? And it's just the disrespect. First of all, I didn't give the young lady her number. I said, well, she came to my house and threatened me. Okay, well, can I hear the threat? I said, and when did she come? Well, it's a message on my Ring doorbell. Never gave me the video of the Ring doorbell. Never. Well, you were with her. Absolutely not. I know the young lady was frustrated because she went all over Genesee County trying to get help. And because you married to the mayor, she wanted help from the mayor. She didn't expect no help from the state rep because unfortunately she doesn't return emails or phone. And so when she actually left the message, she said, "Ma'am, I need some help. I need the mayor help. My house has gotten shot up. I got my kids there. I'm a respiratory therapist. Here's my address. Here's my phone number. Can you please call me back?" That was the message. I said, "Well, Cindy," I said, I said, "I did not give her your address." I said, "But hold on, let me call her." Call. I said, "Hey, Tammy, this is Tonya, Councilwoman Burns." And she says, "Hey, how are you?" I said, "You went over to the mayor's house?" "Yes, I did." I said, "How did you get the address?" "I Googled it." I said, "Okay, you on speaker. Cindy, did you hear?" She said she Googled it. Now, Cindy was like, "Well, I'm going to call the Michigan State Police on you, Tonya. I'm going to call the Michigan State Police on you, on Tammy." Now, you supporting oh God, the child bill getting shot. Would not have been an opportunity to say, "Tammy, let me help you. I want your family to be safe like my family is safe. Let me talk to my husband and see if he can get Chief Green or a detective to call you." What you don't do is weaponize the Michigan State Police against the residents. And that she did. It's a lot of things I can do, but when you got a mother who is single, desperate, who works at the hospital, who's doing the best she can, and you can't do a simple thing like help her, come on now. But look,
Can I say something real
go
quick?
ahead.
Do you remember when I first got on the board, the school board, and one of our first things was we were talking about demolishing Washington School, and I lived right down the street from Washington School. People would come and knock on my door. Like, I had people stop in their car when I was cutting my grass to talk to me about Washington School. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
when you sign up to run for an office, you have to sign an affidavit. And when you put your address on that affidavit, your address becomes public. It is no longer private.
Say it again.
No longer private. So people don't have to Google you. All they have to do is look you up by however. You don't even have to win the office. If you sign that affidavit to run for an office, your address is no longer private. It is public. It's now public because you have to sign that paper. And that paper, the same paper that's in question by a council person or two, you know what I mean, that you have to put your address on there where you live to where you're going to be representing. So it is no longer private. So people have the right to come and knock on your door because you represent them. You know what I mean?
How many people have knocked on my door?
I can only imagine. Look, I done gave 3 people your number this week.
Right. But you cannot expect to run for public office and still have a private life. It just doesn't work. Mm-hmm. It does not work. And Flint politics is the worst politics, unfortunately. And I'm okay with people like my neighbors, issues with trees. They'll knock on the door, and I'm okay with that. I have cameras on my house, so for me, I'm okay. I do not have the expectation as a public official. I know you didn't either, that you're going to have a public life, a private life, but being a public official because you grew up like that. And then you were elected to the school board. So you understood. Don't run for public office if you want a private life. Don't do that. Don't do that. Do not do it. And that is the thing that I think people don't understand. But when you have a missed opportunity, you don't even have to be an elected official. This was a mother needing help. And you weaponized the police and told her that? Literally, and there was a video, and I've played it. The Mid-Michigan Now News covered it. They were shot up the house. Bullets came within in the child's room about that far. And so that is dangerous. But if you are an elected official, you don't show up, you don't help, go live your private life. We need elected officials who are going to be involved, those who are going to be engaged. We need elected officials who are inclusive. Those are the people that we need. Those that when you send an email or your phone ring, you answer or you call them back. Those are the kind that we need. I'm still waiting on an email from her from COVID 2020. And I kid you not, sent a couple of them, never got a response. So, well, I'm glad everything worked out for you.
Can I say two things, and I'm gonna jump off and just enjoy the show?
Yeah, go ahead.
Two things real quick. The first thing that I want to say is, I spent a lot of time, well, not a lot of time, but I spent time talking to some of the state reps when I was down there. A lot of them being Republicans, and I told them that I would more than likely be running for this seat next year. Every single person that I spoke to said that they couldn't wait to work with me. Every single person said, we're looking forward to it. Every single person said that we're looking forward to working with somebody who's I was talking to Republicans. You know what I mean? Like the Republican, the man that got up, the Republican, I can't think of his name, but he said so many words, so many nice words about my dad. My mom started crying. This was a Republican, a white man that said this, and it was sad, but it was enlightening to see how many of them were accepting they want to work with somebody who's willing to work with them. Somebody
you got to show up first to be able to work.
That's what I said, who's willing to show up.
I mean, and she was absent that day. So,
and the second thing is, for 38, 39, some odd 40 years, my dad had a senior citizen Thanksgiving dinner. It hasn't been on in a couple of years. This year, I'm bringing the Floyd Clack Senior Citizen Dinner back. I'm not going to say where or when, because, I don't want to get it sabotaged right now. But I am going to say that it is going to happen in November, the week of Thanksgiving. I'm not going to give the location just yet until I put the official flyer out. But I wanted to put that out there and tell everybody that the Floyd and Brenda Clack the Senior Citizen Thanksgiving Dinner will be back for year 39 or 40.
Well, get the flyer. I'll share it. I'll help to, spread it around. So get it out. Give it to when you get it. I know you don't want to put out to get it sabotaged. So it'll be a good thing too. You can come and speak. There will be the 6th Word meeting Monday, October 6th, 6 o'clock p.m. at Bethel Church, United Methodist Church on Ballinger. So some good things that are happening over there. So when you get your flyer, let me know.
Okay.
All right, look, drive careful. And look, I hate to put it on the spot because I did not hear the story. I didn't hear, and I'm like, no, I didn't have time to go back. I'm like, are you kidding me? I'll text you who the person is, but you probably, I don't know, it's a lady, and she was texting me. You know her very well, and I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry for that.
Okay, yeah, because some other things happened. It was some other fireworks that got shot off that day too. So it was some other things that happened, but that's not, for this conversation. But yeah.
Well, we will talk. Get your flyer. I will share it. Thank you for pulling over for safety. Enjoy your night, and I will talk to you.
All right. See y'all.
All right. Yeah. So we are not going to move on. If y'all do me right, click like, share, and subscribe. And so that was not planned, but I appreciate Michael Clack coming in to talk about some things, what's going on, what he's been up to. So I want to go on to, so we had a meeting on 9/22/25. I don't know if Chief Green liked me half the time or if I'm a thorn in his, I don't know. But one of the things is that I will work with him to make sure our community is safe. That is unwavering. That is unwavering. And so on 9/22, the Flint Council meeting, those were those two, what you call them, resolutions. One was turned down. When people who lie with a straight face are amazing. So all three of them stated, Leon, Liddell, and Candace, that they spoke to Chief Green about this resolution and met with him, and he agreed to it. Y'all, listen, folks, that was a lie. That was a lie. That was a L-I-E, a lie. A L-I-E. That was a big lie. And because that didn't happen. And so we're going to listen to their stories. I voted no, because one, I said it would be redundant. Two, it was duplicating process and procedure we already have. What we have is an enforcement problem. We don't have enough officers. One, because half of them got to be on standby when they decide to arrest the residents. Candace and Liddell. That's your first warning. Okay. That's your second warning. Officer, I want her out of here. I want him out of here. It has become a hostile environment for people, for public speaking, and for us as colleagues. I work in a hostile work environment where they don't know the rules. They make them up as they go. 28.6, she winged the line. And the hostility is problematic. It's problematic. So let's go to this. This is where they're going to talk about how great this was. And they met with Chief Green. Then later he did an article and said he didn't. He didn't. That he didn't, this is our, we didn't need this. So let's play it. Drum roll.
Else in the first round of discussion?
Madam Chair,
Councilman in the first ward.
I would like to express my full support for this resolution. I had an opportunity to speak with the chief over the weekend, who has expressed his full support of this resolution, which is focused on enforcing the already ordinances and things.
Can we please pause the time? I would remind everyone in the chambers, council included, let's silence our cell phones. Thank you. Please start his time.
I also would just like to add that the task force would be one, such an example with this task force will not only be the Flint police, it'll also require retired police officers, NSO officers, and peer recovery coaches and youth, the community to be fully involved and engaged in enforcing the ordinances and things that they will be tackling. And with that, oh yeah.
Is there anyone else in the first round of discussion?
Yes, Madam Chair.
Councilwoman in the fifth ward, you have the floor.
Thank you. I don't understand how the NSOs are going to be working on this to help with this task force, and they can't even do their jobs as far as taking care of the plight in the community. So how would they be able to deal with this? And I have to agree with Councilwoman Burns and Councilman Pfeiffer. This here does not address the root causes of what's going on in our community. And therefore, I will not be supporting this. I would like to hear from the chief as far as this resolution. Hell, we need a special police unit to deal with the gangs in the city. How about that? Thank you, Madam Chair.
Is there anyone else who wishes to speak in the first round of discussion?
Madam Chair,
Councilwoman in the second ward.
thank you. Just to my colleague in the fifth ward, we do have a gang task force, and I would think that she would know that, being on council. She's yelling out during my time.
Councilwoman Winfrey Carter, please stop yelling out. Go ahead.
So if she knows that we need another one, I encourage her to form a relationship to get these things spearheaded and initiated. See, this is how we get positive change going. If we think something is deficient as elected representatives for our ward and also our city, it's up to us to engage with the proper personnel to make this happen. So if we're a little lack in the gang area, how about you find out how they're lack, why they lack, and get into it? Just like Kendall Machette and I did with the fire safety initiative. However, going back to this specific ordinance, it's very important because this is important to the residents. Residents, they're talking about loitering. They don't feel safe when they go to certain establishments. This is what the residents said is a problem. And so thank you, Councilman Elamine, for taking this on. I know it's been a long time in the making. And just understanding the fact that, loitering is a problem. It makes people not feel safe going to these businesses. So getting all hands on deck, and according to this resolution, this is not an ordinance. I want to say it again. This is a resolution, not an ordinance. And this is a resolution to do all things necessary to engage this task force. So for my colleagues to shoot it down, I would like to encourage them to help build it up. What is lacking? What is deficient? What needs to happen? So we can make this a good resolution, so we can engage our residents in a positive way, so we can listen to their concerns, so we can solve their concerns. I've seen a lot of criticism, but no activism. And so I would want to, again, encourage my colleagues, Let's not say what we won't vote for. Let's talk about how we can make this better and how we can make this happen. I know that conversation was had with the chief, and he said that he was in support of this. And so for that, that is one of the reasons why I am in support. Not only is it a good idea, not only is it innovative, but the chief is on board. So I stand in support of this resolution. Thank you.
Thank you.
Y'all know they ain't met with Chief Green about that because that whole article came out. And so what was the next one? Because all three told lies like synchronized swimmers. So there was the part. Can you play the part that, because it says Flint City Council falls for new anti-loitering unit, but top cop says it's redundant. I mean, come on. I'm like, they're just lying. This came out a few days after our meeting, because I was like, it's redundant. We're duplicating services. Why? Because I've used the nuisance ordinances, because I've had them in my ward to work with Chief Green, and they work. I've used the loitering, and that you have to have a sign that is there. I think I gave you the time for mine. Can you play what I said? And look, what did he say? It's redundant. We're already doing it. Some people want to legislate just to say and make it look like I'm doing the work when he's not. How can he be voting for First Ward? And on my paper, he lives in Mount Morris Township. All 9 PPOs at the court, you can go get a copy of them. He states he lives in Mount Morris. He states it at his court date, September 23rd. It was stated on the record by the victim that he lived in Mount Morris. She did a signed affidavit. How and why is he allowed to make decisions for Flint residents? Because his vote affects everybody. This is the worst garbage it is that I've ever seen. And yes, residents can sue. Residents should sue. He just ran off. He got 150,000. He got another 30,000. He got 38,000. He got 8,750. He's getting paid. And what are y'all getting? You still asking when you get your water settlement money. He is their 5th vote and does not live in our city. He does not live here. According to his paper that he sent for me, where he also said, I'm an avid or known cocaine and alcoholic. How dare he? I don't use drugs. Sorry, never have, never, not inclined to. I'm not a drug dealer, former, nor a future one. That's not my record, Leon. That would be yours. So let's play this. Thank you.
Is there discussion in the first round? Councilwoman Burns, you separated. Go ahead.
Thank you. Madam Chair, Chief Green, I saw him hit the elevator.
Is there someone in the back? Is the chief still present? Okay, so I don't see him, so go ahead.
Well, that was one of my questions, because I think that when we look at this, one of my concerns are it's redundant and we're duplicating. We already have, I think, some of the things that came into it. We talked about the mayor. It was a task force, I believe, to be created. The mayor has a blue ribbon task force that was created, I believe, in 2020. In addition to that, loitering, we already have loitering on ordinances and resolutions that are in effect, that what we need is enforcement. We have loitering signs, which are put on municipalities, not municipalities, businesses, such as party stores, clubs. And if you ask, they will, you just have to inquire with the police department, get with the chief, and they send an officer out to post it, so that if someone comes on your property, it gives the city permission to arrest. And then there's other loitering that's already in. So I felt this was redundant. It was duplicating. And then in addition, they also have the program, the green light program, where many of the businesses have, you see the green light, they have cameras that the live feed goes directly to the Intel Center. So this was not one, this was, to me, I felt it was redundant. If you read the ordinance books, What we have is an enforcement problem. We continue to lose officers because of the rate of pay. We look at Michigan, the University of Michigan, you got like a $15 top out wage, as opposed to Flint. We need to improve that gap. And so that is the issue, is enforcement. I don't think we need another ordinance that we don't have the capability of enforcing and putting that burden upon our police department, especially when we talk about, we just had shootings. We had shootings on Copeman. And I didn't even hear about the shooting because I've been at court all day about the young child that was shot in the bed today. This morning, I haven't had access to the news and TV. And so I just think at this time, I don't want us just to be making ordinances to look like we're doing busy work. You know, we need enforcement of the ones that are there, because I've worked with many of the businesses in my ward and some other ones where, you know, make sure you get that sign, because they won't arrest if that sign's not there. And then there's other ordinances that people are loitering around and curfews that we just need enforcement. We need enforcement. We also need parents to start parenting their children. We need that. I mean, parents can't just let your kids go out, cause and habit. So there are some other issues that we have within this, and this to me is a duplicate. But I yield my time. I would like to see if someone could call Chief Green, Mr. Taylor.
You can stop it.
I know, I did.
And can you go to Candace's time? Because I want y'all to hear for yourself. I mean, they just like lying. So in this book, I actually have it's the book of ordinances. You can also look it up online. So I do both. I have a binder of them, and then I actually have got, you can look them up online too. And so what are we creating another law we can't keep track of? Thank you. Let's let it play.
And take some time. So basically this resolution, this is an enforcement resolution. It literally says establishment for special police unit enforcement of loitering and other nuisance ordinances. One of the things that we often see when people loiter, that it does end up in other altercations, that it can end in gun violence. A lot of the time during COVID and some time thereafter, we often find that there were a lot of violent instances that occurred due to people loitering. I know that Chief Green is, in fact, in favor of this resolution. I believe he came to council today to speak to this resolution, and him being in favor of the resolution. I believe this resolution was crafted working with the chief, having conversation with the chief, and the chief being aware of what would be asked of and required from several different branches in his department. And so I am going to support it because the chief is in support of it, worked on it as well. And again, this is a resolution speaking to enforcement. Roll call, Madam Clerk, for
okay, can you stop it right there?
To send
Put
resolution
that back up, that article. So he didn't meet with any of them, but they had synchronized lies. Flint City Council calls for new anti-loitering unit, but top cop says it's redundant. He didn't meet with them. They told a lie. And Leon said he met with them the weekend. He didn't find out about it until that afternoon, I believe. Late that afternoon, like they often do, you know, when they find out sometimes about things. And so here's my thing. How can you trust in government when they lying about resolutions? Synchronize 1, 2, and 3. And then he goes in, because it was ridiculous. All of those are on. I mean, they want to make it look like he's doing the work. Well, we know what work he putting in. I went to that September 23rd hearing when he was bound over to Judge Hannibal. And I hope they don't be trying to give him like probation for a year. And, and if they do, he's snitching on somebody, because that young lady, I went to the hospital with her. I've seen other bruises on her. And one, he said he wrote down on mine that he lives at 3375. That's my Morris Township. How can you make decisions for a city? You sign a court true and certified copy. You live in another city. Residents need to sue. Step down. And according to my attorneys, Attorney Johnson, Mikowski, and Lambert, you can sue. And those can be sued to be run back. Now, attorneys cost a lot of money. I'm just telling you. But according to you cannot make decisions because he did not. We have made the city attorney aware. We have made the city clerk aware that he does not, according to his own admission on paperwork, there's 9 PPOs. And he puts the same address down on all of them. He can't live at that address at the one where he claims he lives. Why? Because there's another lady that's registered there. She's a registered offender, which means she has a probation officer. So he can't live there. She's registered. You can look her up on Otis. And so he's putting her in a predicament. And so why is he allowed in any other community? First, he should have the grace to step down, but he does not. But to sit there to mock people, he gave me the stare down. I guess I was supposed to be afraid because he clearly has a problem with women, like he did with the Muslim lady. With her, she had her beautiful garb on, and she's on here tonight. And I won't call her name though. And he told he took his glasses off. He said, and walked down. He walked down. And this is what you want. This is what you want. I'm like, am I looking at this? But yes, that's what he was doing to women. Now, when Arthur Woodson comes up there, he runs to the back every single time. He runs to the back room. Women, he's confrontational. Men, he turns tail and goes to the back room because that's what he did. He went to the back room. But synchronized line, Chief Green supported this. Well, no, he didn't. And it must have teed him off a little bit because he, Chief Green don't do a lot of articles. And but he did and said, we already have this, yes.
I guess we know why Chief Green hit the elevator when they first called this resolution.
You're probably right, because they started lying, and he was probably watching it on his phone.
But let me ask you this: what much sense does it make if this was the first resolution that was on, for that meeting? After they did,
was the first one.
Yeah, it was the first resolution. The chief was in the room before they called the resolution. Now, if it was so important to him, he would have stayed in there and came down to the podium.
He left. He exited stage left, and then did an article about it. He needs enforcement. He doesn't need to help somebody look like they doing the work. I'm doing the work. We know he lied. Leon told a lie that I had his cell phone. She had it. I just got my cell phone back a day ago, a week ago, 2 weeks ago, a few days ago. No, you're lying behind. That's not true. You told a lie. But what expectation we have of him? We see what he does. And Davina, the city clerk, said, no, that's not true. The phone, you returned it to me in July. Then he claims I tampered with his phone. Boy, I got 3 phones. I ain't trying to answer all mine all the time and don't have the time to go through yours. I'm not interested. Did not go through that phone. But you probably should have worked because your child's mother was clearly going through your phone. And so that's between you and her and however she handled that. When a woman is fed up, I think it's a song about that, isn't it? And she was clearly fed up. I go through your phone. What I did not want, because she was going to be leaving the county to go into a safe house, was him to say she's got city property and it'd be stolen. So I contacted the city attorney, city secretary, and contacted the clerk. Took the phone to them. Period. Took it to him. And so and then he said, when I showed the phone, because he told that lie, that's her phone when I had on this coral colored shirt. No, that's another lie. You lie so much. That was my phone. He told the reporter for Channel 12. That was another lie. I said, no, this is my phone. No, I didn't have his phone then. And when I had it, I didn't want it. No, thank you. No, thank you. And so, and our phones have tracking devices in them. So Tonya Burns ain't keeping nobody's phone. Okay. Like I said, my most calls were 39 in one day. It is my average calls are at least 20 per day, people that I'm talking to. When you're engaged and you care about the community, there's things that we need to fix. So, but one thing we know why they do all lie is them checks. They gonna stick together. I meant to ask Michael Clack that 25 million go through, because I think Candace's 300,000 is now at the state. I think it is now at the state. I think it is. And so I meant to ask him, did that pass, whether it was there? With the Shell company, and the Republicans are in a big uproar because State Rep Cynthia Neely had a company that they're saying that they had no filings, no 990s, no one heard about them. And she was trying to get 25.8 million. And they 300,000 of that was for Candace's. She's over the water lab, and that was first she did vote on it to pass in committee, and she was her own fifth vote to get 5 votes in committee. Then it went to council. Oh, he said, check my phone. Look, he's still on there. Thank you. And new state budget reviewed. Senate Bill 500,000. Sheet metal St. Mark. Okay, so it's not on here. So maybe that's why they mad, because she was showing out. I don't see it on it. So when she tells you she didn't vote on this to pass, it's another lie. She voted yes in committee, and it went to council. It voted and passed to council, but it did not pass in council. Liddell pulled it off the floor. Thank you, Clack. Liddell pulled it off the floor. So she did vote in city council. It's the vice president, which is unethical, in which they talked about that. At the Michigan Municipal League, you should never vote on your own. If you have a project and the merit of it should stand without you being able to vote on it, should be able to. And so she did vote when she keeps saying, I did not. It's a lie. Look, here it is right here. There go the number. And it went to council. Adele pulled it back. They killed it. And then it went to State Rep Cynthia Neely. And it was in her budget. And I don't see it in her budget at all. I don't. So what Clack sent me was Revive. Is to get 500,000. Revive Community Health Center. Center for Civil Justice, 500,000. Sheet metal workers, 1 million. Fair Food Network, 5 million. That's Double Up Food Bucks. That's Detroit though. St. Mark Church, 1,250,000. City of Flint Haskell Center, 500,000, and it needs it, y'all. Look, be nice they get that old pool working. And so thank you, Clack, for sharing that. And so, but Candace, I don't see her 300,000 in there. So that may be why she's mad. Someone had put up that she was over and had transferred the water, I don't even know the name of it. The water center that's at the Old Bunch School, that it is in her name. But my thing is, when she says stuff, don't believe them, y'all. They talk, they just be loud and wrong, and it's difficult because people come there. I come genuinely wanting to, let's work together. Well, I don't know if we can work together, because how do you work with people like this? But her water lab, she did vote to give her own self $300,000. It didn't pass in council, but it did in committee. So I don't know where it's going to be at. So things will probably be very strenuous. So, but we got the other checks. We know that our city council members will vote on their own. And at the Michigan Municipal League, they stated it is unethical. They should never be voting on their own. Never, 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 never. So can we put up the other ones? So Liddell voted on hers for $25,000. Oh yeah, those are the checks for the lawnmower. And then Liddell's checks on there for they getting the money. I have never received any money from Ashley Capital, but what I did do is make sure when it was in my possession to sign that I donated back to my community. And you should be looking out for your community first. That's what you're supposed to be doing. And in the ethics, to talk about, you should not be using your nonprofit to make money for the city. You should not be using your nonprofit making money from the city in your elected position. So let's go on to another, because they making money, they will vote. That's Liddell Lewis's. She made 25 and then 50. She had a total of 75,000. That we know of. Let's go on to another one. And so when we talk about ethics and civility, they were really shocked. I had some really good conversations with them. Really, really good ones before the session and after the session I did. So let's go on to another one. And so when we look at this, when we have council members, it's just amazing to me. It's just amazing, who look out for themselves. And so
those were the only ones.
Oh, I thought I said them. Everything didn't come through. So anyways, y'all know we're going to cover it again. So we're going to keep moving on that. So that part is just a shame. And so, listen, you can kindly donate to Producer J Cash App 1987. I need to go. Can you put up the donate? Liddell made this a topic in the what's the name? She mad because I can't look. I'm a public servant with the poorest salary that's ever, but with the biggest reward for the community, and it just bothers her. My show bothers her. I say our podcast bothers her. And so I need to see what I sent you all. So if you can kindly donate to Cash App $ Producer J 1987, it is greatly appreciated. Greatly appreciated. And so this was a lot. We didn't even talk about what Pete Hegseth's mother said about her son. That was crazy. When somebody mama talk about you, you tend to think second, and she went on and took it off. So I do want to put this up, because this was out there. There's another one of Liddell's. There it goes. So I do want to say, and I was going through some things. So I've had a lot of questions when people have asked, well, what happened with the case with Doug? Doug said I wasn't black. I'm black. I mean, Doug, I do need a suntan. I will say that. Look, your girl missed the summer sun. I missed it. But I do want to say, can you put up, which this had to be from allegedly Dougie Doug, because he went and sued us. And so there were questions which were asked, which there were people who had affidavits that signed about him calling people the N-word. And so he had been in court 4 or 5 months, and he decided one day after all of those motions that he was going to have it dropped with prejudice, which means he couldn't bring it back on the N-word. But I did not know that I had this. Someone sent me this email. Do you have that, and what the FOIA confirms? So we had other people who see there was actually affidavits. So when Attorney Johnson went to ask certain things, yeah, there we go. So I don't know who number this. This is what they texted to me. You know, I don't know who number that was. And they text me and they said, FOIA confirms no body cam on Villarreal on June 10th. Who is lying? Well, there are several people who did affidavits who stated that it was said. And so when it came down to Attorney Johnson asking him questions, and y'all heard Attorney Johnson, he couldn't answer certain questions. He asked them, several questions, and he had to give them to the court. Like, where do you work? Where did you go to school? Were you a vet? How were you harmed? If you stated you had problems getting a firearm, where's proof that you were affected? He couldn't produce anything. Zero. And so he went into court. Judge had told him, this isn't Burger King. You can't have it your way. I'm a Frank Sinatra kind of guy. Things are going to go my way. Stop shaking your head, Mr. Matthew. Stop shaking your head. I'm like, well, he thought he knew everything, and he did. He thought he did. But when it came down to providing the information to the court, he decided one day just to wake up and say, he came to court, he had dismissed with prejudice. So who's lying? Well, there's affidavits that said you did. There's affidavits. And so him coming to court and lying again, which was really shameful. Come in, I'm not black, and I'm snake bite. Snake bite burns was really some low spots that several people used, very, very low point for some people, very low. And so, but now I didn't even notice. I was going through getting rid of text messages. I hadn't even seen that. So if he didn't have a body cam, that's fine. That room was full. It was full of people. And those affidavits said that he said it. Now, here's the funny part. Candace supports him. She supports him in the 7th Ward. I don't know how you do that. And there's affidavits stating that he did it. And she supports him. And she goes all in. So I don't know where that came from. Who sent it? I didn't even see it actually. I didn't even see it until actually a day or two ago. And I'm like, oh, this is interesting. So it wasn't meant for me to see at that time. So anyways, so we're going to go on to the other part. Yeah, Producer Jay.
Are we ready for the producer segment? Are you ready? You got something else next?
I got something else next. I want to briefly go over why, and we're going to be short with it. I want to go over the part where I think I did to 810 Flint, where Candace takes the floor was rule 28.6 and 2.75. And I'm going to put them letters up on why I did not want Lauren Rowley up there, because I want people to understand, if you are a liar and you lie on me, I can't trust you to give me the answers when I'm asking pertinent questions. So I gave that to you got the 810 Flint one? And then we're gonna do producer segment.
I'm ready when you are.
I'm ready. So let's
say something else, but somebody would have took it the wrong way.
Yeah, our folks be ready. They be like, they sleep with their fists balled up. So I'm ready.
Lauren.
I believe her supervisor asked her to come as well.
But I didn't.
It's fine. I'm permitting her to come.
It's not your time.
It's fine. He's bringing her with you.
No.
She might have the question.
Order.
She might have the answer.
Point of order. I get to choose who I have.
That's not how this works. People approach the lectern based on the chair, not a back and forth.
Excuse me. No, it's my time. What are you talking about? You don't get to keep taking the floor.
I didn't take the floor. You called a point of order.
Excuse me.
And I'm ruling you out of order.
Excuse me. Thank you. The clock is ticking.
Nope, pause the time. So what we're not going to keep doing, because you do this every week.
No,
when you don't like a ruling, you sit and you want to argue and go back and forth with the chair. The rules state that the chair can say who comes to the lectern. Her supervisor asked her to come as well. She doesn't need to be greeted with an attitude from you when her supervisor asked her to do something. Obviously, if he told her to come, she has an answer as well. What is your point?
My point of order is you can't take the floor. 12th.
I'm not taking the point. I'm not taking the floor. You called a point of order. I told you why your point of order was out of order.
Madam Chair, I need you
Point
to
of
watch
order.
your tone.
I told you why your point of order was out of
I need
order.
you to
What's your
watch your
point of
tone.
order, Ms. Priestley?
Our council rules say that the chair can rule on orders and, as well as during the discussion, take control of that.
Thank you.
So she is out of order. We do supersede our council rules.
Thank
supersede
you.
Robert's rules.
She is out of order. She's been told she's out of order.
Anyways, are you done?
Right one, baby. Right one. As I was stating, her supervisor asked her to come to the lectern with him. And so if her supervisor asked her to come, she doesn't need to be met with rudeness from council as she's trying to do her job. And so, Mr. Edwards, if you need her at the lectern, she is free to join you at the lectern because that is what the chair is ruling. Lauren, please join him at the lectern. Please proceed with her time.
Mr. Edwards, you can go have a seat. I'm done. Thank you.
All right. Is there anybody else in the first round of discussion?
State because it states Rule 28.6. It says council members may request, doesn't say the chair. Council members may request from the presiding chair the opportunity to ask questions of staff or others during debate or any other agenda item. Any such questions and responses shall count against the council members' allotted time. It doesn't state that the chair gets to have someone stand up there. It doesn't do it. It doesn't even state that the administrator or the city staff. It doesn't state that. That's not what Rule 28.6 states.
Councilwoman in the second ward, you have the floor.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I don't need you. Yes. So thank you so much for coming in.
So as they so grossly misinterpret the rules, so what she stated as the chair, wrong, nasty, terrible, unhinged attitude. She says her supervisor asked her to come. I'm ruling she can come. It's the chair's ruling. Rule 28.6, there's no in between. She does not, no chair gets to tell you who you get to talk to as an elected official. No one gets to do that. And so to Rule 28.6, because Liddell's going to have all the wrong ones that didn't apply. And I'm going to read you the two again. So 28.6, council members may request from the presiding chair. You have to ask the chair, Madam Chair, I'd like to have, or Madam, or Sir, or however you address it. I would like to speak to the cake maker. You know, or it could be an audience member. And what I've learned is they lie. Before Candace told a lie, you can't ask the audience. You can ask through the chair anybody you want to speak to, because that's there to help you make a decision. I did not ask. The administrator does not get to bring to the floor who they want to. That's not how that works. Candace can ask Lauren on her time how she feels, but not on mine. But because there are rules in nastiness, this is what they do. My attorneys were watching saying, this is unreal, unreal. Everything is noted. Everything is noted. And so it says council members may speak from council members may request from the presiding chair the opportunity to ask questions of staff or others during debate on any agenda item. Any such questions and responses shall count against the, as in singular, the council members' allotted time. That was me asking. I didn't ask for Lauren. You don't get to have Lauren stay because you want Lauren to stay to ask him questions, and neither does the administrator. It's whoever is asking the council member. You ask who you want to come. And so then they try to say 27.4, only the chair may call an individual up to speak or answer questions. Other council members must petition the presiding officer to make this request. I didn't petition for Lauren. She does not get to petition for me on my time. My time means my time. I get my time. I don't get my time, her time, and she don't get to choose who she wants to. And these are things that are offenses because each thing is adding up. One thing I learned with all them text messages that Liddell has a weird stalking behavior, that she took notes every meeting about me. Just strange, weird. Every meeting she took notes about me. And I have them. I have them. Every single one. And I gave them to my attorney because it shows a pattern. And so what they do was lie. Rule 27.4 and 28.6 does not apply. Now, can we put up the letter? Because back in 2022, the mayor gets caught lying, and he gets some of the staff to lie. Yes.
But can I stop just real quick before we go there? Because I noticed something in this video, and it goes back to something that she said, and I think I got it, but I'm going to put it up.
Go ahead.
And I'm going to try to pause it. So let me see. We're going to watch this part, and I'm going to try to find it while we're going. 1 second. So this is important.
The right one, baby.
With Clyde. Okay, we're just gonna play it, and then we're gonna stop it, and then I'm gonna get your letters.
You, when her supervisor asked her to do something. Obviously, if he told her to come, she has an answer as well. What is your point?
My point of order is you can't take the floor. 12th.
I'm not taking the point. I'm not taking the floor. You called a point of order. I told you why your point of order was out of order.
Chair, I need you
Point
to
of
watch
order.
your tone.
I told you why your point of order was out of
I need
order.
you to
What's your
watch your
point of
tone.
order, Ms. Priestley?
Our council rules say that the
Clyde walks over there and tells her not to come to the podium.
And Candace, see, this is the thing what they're trying to provoke, because this is the ignorance of them. They want somebody to cuss them out, and that's what they want. You don't get that from me. It's the same thing because they always the shooting, the shot. I'm not here for them. I'm not here for them, and they didn't elect me. And the fact that she had $300,000 that she didn't get, maybe she's a little pissed about that. Now, when she was talking about her girl, Liddell, when Liddell was not there for those 1, 2, 3 meetings, and she was kissing Pfeiffer behind, and I'm like, look, I just want to eavesdrop, talk up. So when I talk about it, I can have it correct. When she was so nice to him as much as Liddell. And so when their politics is terrible. So my thing is when it's my time, I get to call up who I want to speak. The chair doesn't get to rule that you want to have someone up there that I don't want to speak to. It doesn't even make, it's so nonsensical and illogical. Something is wrong with her. Something is deeply wrong with her. I didn't want to speak to her. And now let's put the letter of why. So there was a letter in 2022, 3 letters. One letter they went and talked about Councilman Mays. Then a second letter, it was against Dennis Pfeiffer from Amanda. And then Lauren wrote a letter that I was bullying her. And I bullied her during the trash contracts, which was a lie. Do you have them? And so we know another person who has lied. Yep, that's the one. Because I put the facts up why I'm not having someone come up. If you are a director or a department head and you voluntarily tell a lie, we know how this administration go. And you know how many people that when they leave, I still deal with. And so here is the thing with this. You have a whole director who claims, and I'm going to tell you, I wasn't even elected when I went to the opening of the trash hearing. I was not elected because I wanted to make sure the process, I wanted my eyes on the process. And so I went. That was the amount of conversation I had. It's on video for the trash hearings. I said, hi, Lauren, I don't have very many questions for you. How are you doing? She's like, I'm fine today. I said, last time I spoke with you, we were at the trash hearings, which we were in the little room on the 2nd floor. She says, yes, you were there. And we went through that. It was a nice, pleasant conversation. And I asked her one question, and that was it. Now, Councilman Mays was grilling her, which is his right if you're not telling the truth. When we went from a trash contract with a $9 million difference, $9 million, when we had trash contracts shredded, videotapes deleted, hear me again, trash contracts shredded. My ground stated on the record. Now the video is miraculously missing. I've asked for the transcript. Oh, we can't find the transcript. Come on now. Because the lady was sitting in front of me and she was writing. She did it by hand. She had like a whole bunch of pens. Was it pens in front of her? I'm like, oh my gosh. And so I asked her to borrow a pen. Actually, I couldn't find him. She said, oh no, here you go. And so Lauren told this lie, reported it to HR, Human Resources, did a article. I'm not dealing with no liars. It's your job. Have integrity. Where is honesty? Walk in the truth. She told a lie. Told a lie and put it on paper. So why would I call her up to ask her a question? The second lie she told was when we had that money for those cars. And Quincy told on that. Quincy told me. Quincy was like, Tonya, they, with those cars that they went out to Alcera, that there was a problem with them because the one person is married to the guy there. And guess what happened once we talked? They pulled it back. It was pulled back. You can't have your husband being a part of it. And so when they were asking Lauren, she wasn't truthful on that either. So I'm not going to call her up and ask a question because her pattern with me and it's on paper has been lies. And so when you get a lying mayor, you get lying directors, you get a lying administration, and the lies seep out to the public, the lies are there and they stand on lying ground. God don't support that. So in the Department of Justice, HUD, and let's get into that. I'm going to send you this. I know you wanted to go to the what's in that, but I want people to know 28.6 is my right to call up who I want through the chair. I followed the rules. Every time I talk, and I want y'all to watch it, every time I talk, they interrupt. The chair is supposed to only interrupt if a rule is broken. Every time I talk, they interrupt. Every time. And so my attorney and the investigator, they're taking notes. I'm sorry, my attorneys. And they have some good attorneys. They want us to still be sitting in that little room when Lambert, who was a constitutional attorney, came up with the Booth versus Wyoming, because we were supposed to still be sitting there. So, no, they can't have y'all sequestered. Let me send this to you. Booth versus Wyoming said that you cannot deliberate in the back. It has to be in public. It is a violation of the Open Meetings Act, and the public can sue. They can sue at any time. It's a violation. They sequestered all of you back to 4 rooms, 2 in per room, to make a decision. You can't do that. The public was not there. They weren't allowed. There were people there saying, hey, we want to see what they're listening to, what they're talking about. And they wouldn't. From 9 to 4 every day, we were to be there. And so my attorney's like, you take the fifth, don't you say nothing, my attorney said. So when they sent me the little what's name, I sent it to Michael Gilder, who was our attorney. Michael Gilder sent it to the judge. They had a little powwow, and we got out of court jail. We got out of court jail because they don't follow the law, and you have to stand up. When they removed me from my seat for 30 days, they lied. You can't, me turning my back is not a 30 days. And they lied, just like Candace lied and said, you're not going to talk to her and be mean and disrespectful. I hadn't said a damn thing to that woman. Why? I don't deal with her. So Candace is once again a liar. They lied about Chief Green in synchronized lying. She lied that I said something to Lauren. I wasn't talking to Lauren. Didn't want to talk to her. I don't deal with her. Why? Because she lied. She lied on the document. You come for me. You come for my community. I'm going to fight for my community, and I'm going to defend myself. But if I don't defend myself, I can't defend my community. And I'm going to defend my community. They couldn't have had the water crisis on my watch. You know why? I'm going to tell it. I'm going to find somebody to talk about it. I'm going to find an attorney. I'm going to get us some help. It's time that mouths stop being closed. It's stop. We don't have to accept that abuse. We don't have to. And I'm not going to. I'm not going to be quiet. I'm not. You can put me out for 90 days, but I'm going to sue you for everything you got, including your weave if it's bad. I'm not going to play. And my attorneys watch every single meeting. And he watching now, one of them. And they taking notes because you got a pattern. When you target somebody, You create a pattern. And Liddell, I got all them text messages. She called me, well, she called me a B in one of the text messages too. And so that doesn't bother me. Not at all. Not at all. And you know, she did this. Where's them darn text messages at? I mean, and it's serious stuff because she's like obsessed with me. And it's weird. It's weird. It's really weird. You know, she's got all these text messages, you know, on these watches, everything I do. That's my notes file for her. Here come the addresses in the video. So Liddell, did you happen to send someone to the house where my child lives? Oh no, not you. Now you can go over there if you want to out in Flushing. His daddy is not the friendly type. He's a sharpshooter. Step up over there if you want to. That's not, and so is the officer across the street. So this is her. You know, this is her stuff. I ain't gonna show. You know, okay, that's my notes file on her. Everything I do, you know, it's Tonya. Consistently abusing privileged motions after being warned. May 28th, lack of decorum. Screaming at the chair and her colleagues. Everything, refusing to take her elected seat after receiving a tax-funded escort. I'm getting ready to send you this one. This girl, but let me tell you why I was receiving a tax-funded escort and should be receiving one now. Okay? And so I put this one up. I'm done. This is why I didn't call Lauren. I'm bringing you the receipts and the truth. And so October 14th was the day of the insurrection, where Liddell had convinced the family that I had did something. Quincy was telling me stuff about y'all. Quincy was to his advantage. So you can see she's up there with her photo that's Photoshop, because those are not her shoulders. She has linebacker shoulders. And so you see what she said, the taxpayer refused to take my seat after having a taxpayer's escort. Number one, how dare you, Liddell? How dare you? Number one, because someone came there. They went home and said, we were there to get that bitch Tonya Burns. We was there, we're going to get her. Yeah, we going to get her. That was his friend. They videotaped themselves on there. You absolutely right. Because I don't want to have to shoot nobody. I don't want nobody shooting at me. And so when you do this and you bring and you use this she used this family's pain and used the family's pain and used it to turn her colleagues into some, because she is a diabolical person and she's unhinged. October 14th was the day that we had the insurrection, where Beverly was pushed into a corner and surrounded by people. By talk at a funeral, which they said in the repast that Liddell, yeah, that's right, that's what they do, But nobody taking advantage of Quincy. You know, Beverly and Quincy, whatever that was between them, that was not my business. Beverly handled her own. Beverly I don't know what her previous, relationship was, but what I do know is Liddell caused that problem, told them to come because they said it on the video. Liddell told us to come. And so when we have behavior like Candace and Liddell's, people think the whole council is like that because she can't stop herself. She can't. So she's at the meeting, telling people in them size 19 ice skates that she had Colgate white boots that was ankle boots, that they didn't zip up the front, or the center, the zippers was in the front because of them cankles. She worried about what I'm doing and the podcast. And the attorney says, well, if it is a public, then there's nothing you can do. But she's giving, no, I'm not getting money. You're a liar. You're a liar. And this is what she's doing in them size 19 roller skate granny boots and couldn't zip up. Is worried about, instead of learning in civility and ethics, she was worried about what I was saying. Worried about what I'm doing. Because people need to know how much money they're getting. They're voting on their own resolution. She should have had her ears open to the fact, how many are you voting on your own resolution? What'd you say? That's your resolution. That's the problem. And yes, Leon needs to step down. I wasn't there when Councilwoman Winfrey Carter presented that resolution, because the city can be sued and people need to sue the city. He's making decisions and don't live in the city. The lady who lives there, I'm not going to put her picture up, but she's registered at that house. And he can't say he lives there, and he damn sure can't say he lives there with this child. Let me tell you why. Because that person is a sex offender. And so you were going to say you had your child living at that house? So you endangered your child's welfare and being by being at a house with an offender? You can't do that. Your lies are just trash. He had no business in being in this. I don't even think he ever really wanted it, to be honest. He had a good gig going on. He was fixing houses. He was dealing with the people. But what we didn't know was behind for almost 10 years, when Kiki told me she was getting beat. She's got multiple recordings. She was getting beat. Her mother stepped up there and spoke to it. And then there's also the contract. Her mother spoke. These are things that I'm learning in the mother's pain. And so he can't say he lived there with this child, because you've been putting your child in danger. She's been registered there. She has to have an address. And so the lies, one lie, the other one lie, they become synchronized liars, like synchronized swimmers. They do. And so you can't make this stuff up. But as I say, I'm bringing you the receipts, literally. And so people need to sue, make them move. Why is he making decisions for the first ward? He don't live there. He put on 9 PPOs that he lived someplace else. You can't say that you live there with a person who's on the offender list. Come on, what's wrong with you? Well, I stayed there with my son, but this person's on the offender list. So you put your son in danger. So let me get this right, Judge. You put your son in danger with someone who was on the offender list, a registered offender. No, you can't do that. So step down. Step down. Get some help. Go into some anger management. Get some help. But don't sit on that council. We don't need no help looking bad. But Liddell was harboring a fugitive. She most definitely was. And so all of those she didn't send, I didn't send, my attorney got them. So we just sitting there waiting every day. Y'all just making sure you keep track, because they text back and forth. You're keeping files on me, which is some BS files. I mean, the fact that she's obsessed with me, she could better use her energy on getting some ankle boots that fit her, that she can zip up with the inside zip. So, look, y'all, look, just tons of them. All her text messages about me. My attorney has them. So go play with somebody else, or go get some something for the ankles to bring them down, because I got all the receipts and my attorneys have them too. I'll let you keep the boots if I got to sue you. I don't want them. You can have them ice skates. I don't want them. And it was past Labor Day too, by the way. You don't wear white. Taylor, Sampson, Taylor. You don't wear that white after Labor Day. So, the things that you do to try to keep the seat, there are such good things, but you cannot have good government and good policy until you deal with this. Was supposed to be the better council. When people are enticed by money, position, and power, because this was supposed to be the good council, then it doesn't work that way. You can't tell me about. I done flown on private jets. A bad week for me running my business was making what we make in a year. That's not what I made in a week. A bad week I made in a year. I wanted to be here with my parents. I got sick. My dad got sick, and now they keep me in with court with attorney fees, and it's just crazy. But they got this little plan. I'm glad I got the text messages. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And y'all better worry. They need to worry about them policies. It was put out there about the policy, about the guy missing. And there's a policy that Leon's the beneficiary on. That's crazy. And listen to her when her mother comes there, Miss Jackson. I feel so sorry for her. And she has to take control of her life. The best thing for him to do is to make a reasonable plea. You did too much you broke Kiki. You broke her, Leon. You broke her. You broke her. You broke her. When you tell somebody, and y'all heard the video, if I was it bust your mouth out, blow your mouth out. You be, shut up, Kiki, you be. If I blow your mouth out, think I'm playing with you. Sitting in that courtroom, listening to, it triggered me. Councilwoman Carter couldn't take it. She had to leave out the door. Kiki looked forward and didn't look back. She looked forward, she looked to the side. They tried to trip her up, and she just told her story. She told her truth. She was sequestered. The officer was sequestered. The officer came in, I think his name was McCain, and said, I saw lacerations on her face and blood. I saw them. And she was shaking so hard and so bad. She couldn't fill out the paperwork. There was many officers there, and we all had to help her fill out the victim statement. She couldn't do it. And it becomes a point when you have an abuser that you take your life back. And she's taken her life back. So we're gonna move on. So producer Jay, what's the name? Producer Corn. Sorry, y'all. I did mean to get. I'm not going to apologize. We need, what they want us to do is to be quiet about Kiki. Please keep Kiki's story alive. She's worthy of being loved. She's worthy of being happy. And she's trying to find her happiness and her niche in life now. When you're beat down emotionally, physically, and spiritually, and financially, when you are broken down and beat down emotionally, physically, spiritually, and financially, she has a GoFundMe. I had it on my page. I'll put it back up there. She has to start over. And he's evicted her out the house that she was in. He's evicting her. He's evicting her. He wasn't staying at the one house. I'm saying he's going to be a child endangerment. He can't go back to living in Mount Morris. Really? So he's going to be lying again. Thank you, Avis, for the $20 super sticker. Thank you. Thank you. And so to look in the mirror and say, you know what? I love me today. I want her to do that every single day. I love me and I'm fighting for me. And she's fighting and she needs your support. They want us to be quiet so it'll go away. They don't want us to say nothing. And October is Domestic Violence Month. We getting ready to get loud and blow the roof off of this. We are going to get loud. You don't get to beat on women and think you get a pass. You're held to a higher standard when you are an elected official. You held to a higher standard when you somebody's father, when you beating on the child's, the mother. I went to the hospital with her. I saw the bruises. They want this to go away. Kiki needs help. she's got to get a place to stay. She has to get a place to stay. So I appreciate y'all for that. So Producer Jay, what is Producer Corner? Y'all know I know nothing about this.
So Producer Corner is just something that I will start doing if you allow it. You know, I might have to run some of them by you in the future, but this one's not bad. It's not bad.
I don't like surprises.
This one's okay. This time.
Okay, so y'all look, we got Producer's Corner, so we're gonna check out. I want to say thank you to the moderators, Patrick Jean and Sheena Beckton, through this evening. I appreciate y'all. Y'all can't really watch the chat, but yeah, go ahead and then let's do Producer Corner. You got it's all your show now.
Put you down, but you got to not be with them here. Every time you turn on TV, there you are. And they're not in our ward. I've never seen you in our ward on TV, but you spend too much time with Neely. He's getting his way. This is just ridiculous. That's about all I think that's all I want to say. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Not Mr. Peachy.
That's it. Have a good night.
Oh, it's not Mr. Peachy. Mr. Peachy is turning on him. Mr. Peachy is starting to see the light. Mr. Peachy. Mr. Peachy also went up to Beverly Biggs and thought it was her daughter and stated that, and he has changed from that. This was one of the last two meetings, and said, I apologize for him. I'm sorry that happened to you, to your daughter. She says, that's not my daughter. And that's her mother right there. Kiki's mother was there. And so we have to take a look at things, because sometimes people can change. Sometimes people can. So how long we been on here? Oh, look, this is a short show. So listen, did we cover everything? Because look, this is a short one. So we are going to debate, because there's some other things, they're going to be long. And touching that tobacco in his mouth. We moved right along. We're gonna wait this other. We're gonna cover that on Sunday if we do one. So listen, Monday there is a meeting. Dr. John, I budgeted 9 more hours. We're gonna break this into segments. We're gonna break it into segments. Or is it you, Scoop? When you're doing and so that's gonna be in segments. So but I got some other stuff. There is some stuff that's coming out and they keep contacting. So I'm gonna give you a little bit of it. So one of the things that they had stated, which the housing commission, this has been a problem. And so they're stating that it was not 9,000 that was missing. They saying it's a total of 40,000. And so that was one of the boards, because Michael Clack had stated, don't forget that Leon L. Alameen served on the ARPA committee and also the housing committee. And so, and he did. And so there was, so they sent, the housing commission voted unanimously to, remove Miss Redmond. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe she did that. But I guess they said this stuff happened. And so and for me, it is always, where's the proof? So it's going around. So what it's doing is it's causing a problem with the relationship with HUD, which is a federal agency. And so with the federal agency, now Clyde did tell us that the FBI was here with HUD because there was funds that were missing. So now they're saying there's more funds. There's another 31,000 that's missing. And then there was an article that stated that there was an article that stated that that the mayor had made an agreement that she could pay back funds. She made a mistake, is what he was saying. And I want her to be allowed to pay back funds at $50, $50, $50, I guess a month is what I'm thinking is what it was. And so can you put up the 31,000? So I did not know. And so let me say, we have had people emailing us. And so I thought I sent that to you. And so some were ex-secretaries or work from and other board members who were sending us this stuff. And they said, no, now Department of Justice is there. And so this was the 9,000 we know about. The 31,000, which gives about 40,000, that's missing. Did not know about. So she did have a repayment plan but that was for the 9,000. So I don't know how it's going to be handled, because basically they're stating, do you have to live in Flint to serve on the Flint Housing Commission Board? I don't know, Clack. I believe you do, but I know the entire board voted unanimously to have her removed. And then the mayor had made a agreement with her. So when I say there, and then there's been some attorneys who have sent this stuff into council members. And so they're saying, yeah, it's not just the 9,000, there's another 31,000. And, if HUD is saying, okay, you got projects going on, and we need to send you money, but you still have her on there, then it's a problem. The repayment period back, part of that should have been to remove her. But here's my question to the city attorney. Who, and I'm gonna send this to you. Who gives the permission to for the mayor to make the decision that she can pay that back? I mean, who makes that decision? And so that to me is where you have a more serious problem. So this was sent. So now it's not 30. It is, it's not 9,000. It's 40. And so they sent this to council members. And I don't know who these people be. And producer Jay, I'm going to send you something.
31. You said 40.
No, it is 40. It's 9,000 plus the 31, which gives you 40.
Okay.
Yeah.
I missed that part. I see you connected it.
Yeah.
You got people that watch and will twist it.
Yep. Well, that's true. And so I'm going to send it to you so you can see. So here's the one. And then there's some long explanations too. There were some long explanations. And so they're saying, look, we need her to leave the board. This money is missing. And I guess with Doge being here, they're asking, and it's affecting Flint, of course. And so, okay, yep, that's it. Can you make it bigger? Is that as big as it'll go? You can take me off if you need to. So this is where they went back. This was August. And now they're saying there's another 31,000. And so this was the $50 repayment plan. And I'll read the article. And so it says, the Oversight Board of the Flint Housing Commission is asking Mayor Sheldon Neely to start the process of removing Commissioner Geraldine Redmond, who received public housing funds supplies. The request from the board that oversees public housing comes in more than 4 months after MLive, the Flint Journal, actually reported it. The Flint Journal report. that from 2020 to 2023, Redmond received more than 9,000 in checks from what thought to be a dormant housing bank account. Although Redmond provided FHC some receipts related to her spending, a former attorney from the agency questioned several purchases last year. We did get an email from that person, including receipts from a restaurant gas receipts. The Journal received the Email Housing Commission. The Flint Journal could not reach Redmond on August 27th. The board requested actions. Redmond's voluntary resignation was also requested in the resolution, but Housing Commissioner Executive David Northern said on Wednesday that she has so far declined to do so. And I guess she still has not. Redmond was present at the 12 meeting. She was censured. According to a record of vote, it was forwarded to the city council members in their meeting. We can't remove her. So there was some process. There has been something sitting on the mayor's desk for about 2 months. The Housing Commission board voted unanimously to remove her because it makes sense. You may have made a mistake or whatever it was. That's for the courts to deal with. That is the courts should be dealing with. And so the money missing is for the court. It's not the mayor's authority to give somebody a payback plan. Those were federal funds. That's money that comes from the federal government. And whether you like it or not, when you are Black, they watch everything we do. Now, here's some of the funny things. That David Northern has been taking our people because people are leaving the city, going to work at his agency because they want a better opportunity. And so, says the mayor said, Neely said on Wednesday that he's reviewing the request to begin removal proceedings, but is operating on the presumption of innocence. Well, we got another 31,000 that they keep sending us. The mayor said previously that if funds were misappropriated, a complaint should be filed with the appropriate authorities and should be investigated. Treadell Kennedy, president of the housing board, said his board approved the censure of Redmond after seeing no movement on her part to resolve the issue. That's the president of Treadell Kennedy. I've seen him before. So that was that. It says the former Beecher Board education member agreed in April to make payments of $50 per month to cover for unaccounted spending without rectifying how much she intends to pay. And so that's just kind of just laying there. So then there is the other one that I sent to you. The board has voted and asked her to step down. Oh, you put them both up there. And it says public housing commissioner steps aside as president won't leave board. Come on. You keep it in the headlines, just like Leon. And she was sitting there when Leon was actually, she showed up with Leon every day, every meeting when he was put on council, appointed and elected. She was there. He needs to step down and she does too. They can do it together. Let's quit making an embarrassment out of the city of Flint. Both need to step down, and they've sent the letter. And now we got maybe it's a good thing because they bring in Department of Justice. Are you looking at those folks over here with those ARPA funds that have gotten ARPA funds and voted to them? Are you looking at how the ARPA funds were distributed? Because you should. So anyways, I'll look for someone from our council seat for sexual assault. All right. Hopefully they remove Leon with domestic violence. That person will step down from marrying the mayor. Oh, wow. Wow. So the mayor and Lisa put them together in the person. This is just anyways, we got chime in with Tonya Burns. So the number is 810-267-2980. 810-267-2980. So I don't know where you get, look, ain't nobody did no calculated funds. So how much would that be paid back? So if you paid back, and let me put this up here. So we are having to asking y'all to come worship on October the 13th with, can you put up the purple one? Thank you. So look at Pastor Thompson and Bishop Trotter. Look, he got it big. Look, he got it together. So please join St. Mark Baptist Church of Flint Restoration Service. Music, by Albert Strickland and Chosen, October 13th at 6:30 p.m. The service, because the church has suffered from fire, it's at Calvary United Methodist Church in Flint, where the pastor Gregory Timmons is the pastor, but they are allowing Pastor Thompson St. Mark to use their church. That's what I'm talking about. It's at 2111 Flushing Road, Flint, Michigan, 48504. Did I say that was in the 6th ward? It is in the 6th ward. So what we do in the 6th ward, when I'm there, we all come together, bringing the city together. So anyone and everyone is welcome from any church, any city, any denomination, so we can worship and fellowship together. Now, I want to know, is Albert Strickland and Chosen going to let me sing a song? And they're going to let me sing a song. Bishop Trotter, I need you to let me sing a song. Pastor, I need you to let me sing a song. Y'all know that I'm heartbroken from Blackwell AME Zion Church, African Methodist Episcopal Church. They didn't let me sing a solo. I'm just saying. So what I am saying is come join us, and there will be food. They're going to worship and there'll be food. So look, do me a favor, y'all, share that out. I hope to see people there. And I do want to say, like I said, we started out a praying forum, and there's some things that we can't even talk about yet. But I'm going to tell you who was out putting up, the same person who showed up to the church on August 24th, showed up August 24th with to the church, had was putting up smoke detectors. We're seeing some other places. So I mean, we got some issues. But the person he was in that picture with was Liddell Lewis. I don't think he got to that scene. She was, he was there. He came, and thank God for the security that stopped him at the door. He wanted to speak with the pastor, and the pastor said, the pallbearers, the deacons, the trustees said, not today. See, because in our churches, and I don't want to put a difference in Black churches. When the young guy, I don't remember his name. I think Sheena had his name early in South Carolina, went into the church, worship while they was praying, and killed all those people. Black churches have been on heighten because why? They've been burning our churches down since we couldn't congregate. Right after slavery, they burnt our churches down. So anytime you burn a church down, the ATF has to deal with it, and the Department of Justice. And so what they do is, because I'm not gonna say we're used to it. It's happened to it. It has been a part of our history. It has been our history that they burn our churches down. And so, folks, some of them grannies got guns and butcher knives. They had just cut them greens up with and trim that turkey before. Dylan Roof was his name. Well, thank you, Sheena. Thank you. The church bombing in Birmingham. Yes. Go ahead.
You got to call.
Oh, caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Councilwoman Burns, this is 580 Mafia. This is Blake. How are you doing?
How you doing?
Doing good. I've been watching y'all council streams the previous times, and after Beverly lost the seat. And I want to tell you, I'm sorry that y'all are having to deal with that. You, JWC, and Dennis, and Jared too, and I it hurts seeing that, but I'm holding out with you down here. I'm watching, and we got the same issue down here on our council. The mayor is kind of rubber stamping people, as Eric Mays would say. And I tried to sign up for the first ward council seat because his wife had to step down on the first ward, and there was no election process, so they ended up going with the guy that moved into the Ward 1 seat. He's only been here 3 years, where I've been in my ward 32 years, and he serves on the board at the hospital. So it's all interconnected, and I'm seeing what y'all are seeing too. It's not just y'all.
Right. And so you've seen it because you've seen this before.
Yes, and I'm 32. So when I was in college, you know, all that. I did not pay attention like I do when I got older, as I did when I got older, and I'm starting to see how our city's being done down here. And it's like they're all doing votes for our mayor down here, just like they're doing for Sheldon Neely, you know, and it's crazy.
It is. Well, look, I know Reverend Powell said they're armor bearers, not pallbearers. Yes, thank you for correct. Armor bearers, not pallbearers, and trustees and deacons. So how big is your city? Where are you at again?
Lawton, Oklahoma. So we have Fort Sill, the military base down here.
Oh, okay.
It's south of Oklahoma City, so I want to say 90 something miles, I would say. And then Wichita Falls is Texas is 45 minutes away. But you know, we have an issue with the Robert Rules down here too, because the mayor, he's saying cease and desist at council meetings. So he's throwing out one of the ladies, she runs a whistleblower page that exposes the corrupt in the city here. And, you know, they're sending her out for speaking at the podium. It's same thing down here.
Wow.
And, you know, I know from watching y'all, cease and desist is like somebody. And it's like you should be saying out of order, you know, point of order, you know, all that, you know, and it's like he's kind of gotten to the point where he's just gone with it out the window. And the previous mayor, he stopped and talked to me. He goes, I think what they did was wrong too. They should have had an election for that seat. But, you know, it's okay because that seat's going to come up in 27, 28, and I'm going to challenge him for it.
Good for you.
That's where I'm at, and I'm just, you know, we're losing our freedom of speech down here in Oklahoma. We have Governor Stitt and Ryan Walters, and Ryan Walters just stepped down. So, you know, we have a female, Cindy Munson, who's trying to run for governor down here, and you know, we hope she gets it because it's, you know, my mother told me, she goes, you can vote for your president, but pay attention to your ground level. You know, your politics on your ground level. And the older I've got, she's so right.
Local politics matter. They matter.
Exactly.
And that is so true.
My friends at work and my coworkers, they watched Eric May. So like we're in Lawton, Oklahoma, so we've been watching they've been watching the council meetings and stuff down there, you know, and it's crazy. Y'all are well known.
Yeah. I mean, I would hope one day, and there are good things. I hope one day it can be for all the right reasons that we finished our service lines and that we're a clean and safe city. That we work with others and we make sure that we're inclusive of everyone. Those are things that are part of good governing and good government and good policy. And those are things that we need to have. Those are things we need to have.
Yes, and I watch when I'm cooking dinner here. My dad watches me watch the council meetings, or he hears them, and you know, I told him, I said, man, their first ward councilman had a domestic violence issue, and I'm going to a seminar on it down here because my political party is gonna check it out. And I'm going to go down there and listen to what everybody has to say. But I just think that's so wrong that he's able to hold that seat still. And I just see an issue in that. I feel bad for the first ward residents and the victim too. So it's just like it's disgusting.
Well, stay engaged. First ward should be down there before they change the rules. Like Detroit, where you got a email and you don't have internet. Yeah. Stay engaged, and I appreciate you calling. I honestly do.
I'm gonna be praying for y'all.
Well, listen, we need the prayer. We are going to take it. We need it.
Yes. And Councilwoman Burns, you and Producer Jay, take care. And Tonya Burns Show family, thank y'all. I tune in every time.
Oh, thank you. So, do we have you put the one last night, you had the one where you put the black dot out. because this is the same person came to the church. We can say alleged, but whatever, on August the 21st with the black dot out. Can you put that up? Do you have that one?
Yeah, I have to get it out of our text messages though, because that's what we sent it at. Give me a second.
Okay. And so on August the 21st, someone came to St. Mark's Church and he wanted to speak with Pastor Thompson. And he wanted to speak with him and the armor bearers, the deacons and the trustees, the deacons there, stopped him at the front door. And he was there at the front door, and in the hallway, wanting to speak with the pastor. And so, they stopped him, and that was divine intervention, is what that was. It was divine intervention. Yep, that one, please. It was divine intervention. And then I'm going to send you a second one in a minute. So this is the guy who showed up. He was putting up smoke detectors with Councilwoman Lewis. And him and her, I think there was a video someone said or alleged that him and her went to school together and they knew each other. And so he had come to the church on August 24th, and they did not allow him to go through. Can you put, and we have to be careful because Reverend Holt Smith has stated, it is alleged that he had come to Reverend Holt Smith's church, the People's Church, that he had been there. And these were threats with two of our city churches. And I don't want there to be drawn a comparison, which people are trying to draw that line. But if you are a mayor of a city, you take care of your own first. Not that you can't do both, as Sheena Beckton said. You can walk and chew bubblegum. But it made the people who goes to those and worship that the mayor didn't even acknowledge the People's Church, and he did not acknowledge St. Mark. When Reverend Holt Smith was going through being threatened to be shot by an AR-15, these are the threats that he had. So this is the same individual who was with Liddell in the photo that he stated that they went to school together and they were putting up smoke detectors. August 24th, he came to the church. You can see the deacons there did not allow him to go forward. Now, he ended up being apprehended. Can you show that hand? This was in one of his videos. Now, you see on there, you don't see burns on his hand, but can you show that hand, please? You got that one? And so, the mayor should have responded to, not just to, I'm glad he responded to the Church of Latter-day Saints, but the People's Church needs acknowledgement, and so does St. Mark's, because People's Church was threatening. The guy said, I'm about that life. You being real beefy, and he was going off on him. And so they had picked him up, is what I was told. So does that blow up, or is it going to be real grainy? So this was just in one of his lives.
That's it.
That is a burn. That is a burn. He was at the church a week before, and I'm told there's video that a person resembles him in that video of the night of the fire. This is what I'm told. And that's a dangerous burn. So in that video, and we've watched it, the fire bounces back a backdraft, and just, in the picture, they would have received burns. Our churches, there are two more churches that need to be acknowledged. Mayor Neely needs to acknowledge these churches too. People's Church, needs to be acknowledged. St. Mark's, and it needs to be acknowledged. And in the same manner as the sadness that happened, because we can acknowledge all three, like I did on my post, on my social media. You don't divide the city. Yes, Dr. Padroni, he did. That was him in that picture. And so we can show empathy, and we can join hands with all of them. But to not be acknowledged, that's a burn on that hand. It's a serious burn. It's a serious. He come to the church August 24th, wanting to see the pastor. No secret, Liddell does not like Pastor Thompson. She cussed out Pastor Thompson not once, but twice. She told him he's a F.A. pastor. He ain't S-H-I-T. She stated it. They said in some of his videos that he was homeless, didn't have a place to live. Now, who buys 3 brand new gas cans? 3 brand new gas cans. Gas had just went up. And then takes them, and he went back through the back and, through the field. And I think I showed the trash, one of the gas cans that was in the bag. And he had, now if you homeless, they were nice trash bags. They had the pulling of the string of them, which can be traced back to your credit card, what your purchase was, but your receipt. Thank God the ATF is handling this. It can be traced back, one single garbage bag that probably had some prints all over the garbage bag that was in the field. 3 gasoline cans, somebody's trash bag from their house with some old towels. He was at the church a week before the 24th. There's a burns on his hand. That was in his live. Because there were people who did do investigating because they felt that this was going to fall through the cracks. I'm not an investigator, but the people who are licensed, and they do arson fires. And so when we look at this person, which, his videos, he's got maybe some challenges. But when we look at that, it's a problem. He was there August 24th in the vestibule. He didn't have the burns on his hand. Can you put the picture back up with the burns? And we didn't see all of, and I don't have all of, but there were people investigating, because when they were there, they were like, I cannot believe how so that is his left hand. Now we go back to the other picture. I think we can see the left hand, that there are no burns. So this was September 2nd or 3rd, I believe, is where that picture was. And so he's there. Now go back to the picture where he's standing next to putting, please, with the smoke detector. They're cheesing. We know she don't like Pastor Thompson. We know she voted all 950 million times no to give them money. We know she voted no to give them money. We know that when she came there, he came to speak, she was disrespectful. Said, oh yeah, Kevin, oh yeah, no, what you gonna do with this money? Now he's supposed to call her Councilmember Lewis, and she shouldn't be called Dr. Lewis, because that's against the rules. We're all equal. They would have learned that in ethics or through the Michigan Municipal League. No one member is greater than the other. And so the fact that the city clerk is calling her that is a problem, and other council members, they're breaking the rules. Robert's Rules, 12th edition. Contact the Michigan Municipal League. That means anybody can have a self-imposed title. And it doesn't mean if it's earned, you're elected. It's an elected one. I give her congratulations because she does have a doctorate's degree. She does, but it's not applied as an elected official. It's not. But this is the guy that was in that hallway. Is the one who has the burn on his hand. She has stated and told him, F you, shots fired. You a FA pastor. Now remember, she's been seen in the line going to get food from St. Mark's, but did not vote to give St. Mark's money, which we had money for food access. She voted no every single time and came up with excuses, but had herself in the line. So when people don't understand why some people are questioning what St. Mark's, have been, they're being, the churches and people's church, people are saying to be quiet about it when they're raging inside because they're saying what I went through, that could have been me. He came to my church on the 24th. The Church of the Latter-day Saints could have been him if it wasn't for the deacons and the armor bearers. That could have been the people's church if they weren't alert in Flint. When people go to worship, they want to go and come out. She doesn't like Pastor Thompson, and it is alleged. Well, you saw the burn on there, and this is sad. Because who at 2 a.m. is walking with three gas cans? I think is it a crowbar or a metal bar? One in a garbage bag. I mean, how do you even hold that? How do you hold that? You had 3 gasoline cans. And then when I asked to have, and I'm gonna give Chief Green his flowers when he get them, when he deserve them. And I asked the battalion chief, he told me that the fire chief Wiggins told him do not go back to the scene. He could not to collect evidence, not to get the 3 gas cans. He said that leave it there, per what the battalion chief told me, that the chief told him, and the investigators will come on Tuesday. It was August 30th, a holiday weekend. Now, you don't even have to be a bright bulb, but you don't leave evidence out there of a full day Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. A holiday weekend. It was Labor Day weekend. Chief Green had not, some just told me maybe it was being on church ground, on holy ground. I called Chief Green and he answered. And he said, "What's up?" I said, "Look, thank you for first picking up." I said, "I'm not understanding. They're not taking the gas. There's 3 trash cans, 3 gasoline cans." I said, and they're saying leave them in the field till Tuesday. He started saying some words. He says, "I have an investigator there." I said, "No, you do not." "Yes, I do." I said, "No, you don't." "You mean to tell me?" "No, there is not, sir. There is not." Hung up the phone. He called me. He called back. He sent 3. And so I appreciate Chief Green saying, everybody going to do their job. He said that day. I'm not saying the other days, but I'm saying for this day. And they sent someone. He sent 3 people that came, but they were told to leave the gasoline cans, where they were discarded at in different places. Unbelievable. I mean, it is, people are saying, that they would have had some help because who's with 3 trash cans? Then one was in 3 gasoline cans, and somebody, that garbage bag got to have it from somebody else, got to have their fingerprints on them. Somebody fingerprints is on there. So anyway, so when we say it's not taking away that there was loss of life. 4 victims and then the shooter were killed at the Church of Latter-day Saints of Grand Blanc. And that is tragic. It's tragic. But it was a problem for the people. Sure. And I'm going to tell you, I talked to Reverend Hoke Smith so many times. his nerves were a wreck because the person was still out there who threatened to shoot his church up with an assault rifle and to kill him and his congregation. That's a problem. When you have crimes like this, they should be moved upon swiftly. Thank you. Swiftly. And they should embody the support of everyone. This is of the church in Grand Blanc of the Latter-day Saints, where he drove the vehicle into the church. They said he had grenades. The bomb squad was there. He shot and killed 4 people. 10 were total of 10. And then he was shot by authorities. He burned the church down. This is what the person told Reverend Hogue Smith they would do. So when he's seeing this, I know this is triggered by him because he begged, and do y'all know he had to hire private security for weeks and weeks? The People's Church had to hire private security. Liddell Lewis told him that the sheriff's department was going to be there. Well, I don't think that was true. Problem is, Liddell's standing with somebody that was at St. Mark's and was, allegedly seen on that video. And so they have facial recognition. And I want people to understand that we grieve and support all 3. But the other 2 churches, this could have been the outcome. And I stand with all 3. And my deepest sympathies for those families who lost loved ones. It's not taken away from just the one, but our churches in Genesee County are under attack. Our churches in Genesee County have been under attack. And we have to talk about these things. So when I say I take it back to Black churches, where one of those was a retired officer, I believe was at Officer Lloyd Nicholson, Sergeant Lloyd Nicholson. And so he retired. That's his church. And so he knows how to move about. We know that a lot of the Black churches, because they've consistently firebombed our churches, shot us while our people were trying to worship, that they have security. Black people have learned Granny gonna have a gun in that purse, or she gonna have what she was using to chop that meat up in them greens before she put them on in that roast in that crock pot or whatever, or that dressing to cut them onions and bell pepper, for her dressing. She might clean that sucker up, throw it in that pocketbook. But we have learned that no one's often coming to save us. That we got to save ourselves. We have got to save ourselves. And being in a save yourself environment is what the People's Church had to do. And it is what St. Mark's had to do. But I do want to say this because that's when I was first sick, y'all. I didn't realize I was so angry and Pastor Thompson and Mother Napier, and I'm scared of Mother Napier. Okay. I'm just going to let y'all know. She used to work in the jail. I'm not going to ever cross that lady. I'm taller than her, but she don't play. Okay. And so they called, they were in the car, and when they were talking to me, y'all know I never go to bed. It was like 9:00. I was taking a shower. I went to bed and took a couple of Tylenols. I just didn't feel good. And so I went to lay down. They called me and he said, you need to know, because I don't want nobody else to tell you that the church has been set on fire. I'm like, oh my God, you got to be kidding me. So I laid in bed a little longer for 2 hours. It was dark. And finally I said, you know what? Let me get up because I'm not sleeping. I didn't know what I could do but go there to be with in the time of their loss, to pray, to talk, to show support. And I remember talking to Pastor Thompson, who he was kind of distraught, and he was in disbelief. And they could not get any boards to board the church up until 6 o'clock when Home Depot opened up. And people, he went and got the board. They went and got the boards, and so I was there, and I was like, "Well, look, who gonna put the boards up?" Because I'm not exactly tall enough to reach that, and I wasn't feeling the best. Now your girl know how to work a drill, unlike Steve, who was there. I got some tools. I got some power tools, miter saw. I mean, I got some, okay. But I said to him, I'm looking around at us, and a lot of people, they were the elders of the church were out there. They had to get the elders got out their beds to come. The elders. And so I said to him, we need to ask the community to help. You serve this community. Let's get some help and ask the community to help you. You need the community now, and it's okay to ask. He's like, well, I don't know if I want to do that. And, Deacon Davis and we don't know what we're going to do. I said, executive decision. I'm doing it. Because sometimes when you stuck on how somebody burned our church up, how they try to burn it down, you bring not one, but two, but 3 gas cans and rags. It was your intent to burn it down. And so I took to live when it became daylight enough. Because y'all know I'm going to do the right thing. And I asked for help. And the community overwhelmingly came out for hours and hours and hours. I think we left about 5:30, 6 o'clock. And the last people who came, when Commissioner Del Rico Lloyd showed up, I'm like, really? He's like, I had something to do with my church, and I had to do this, and he shows up. And we were all getting ready to leave. And, he spent some time, we talked, and he talked to the pastor because he knows him and grew up with them. And then we all departed together. But people came from everywhere. And I want to say thank you to everyone. We had every walk of life, color, race, gender, pastors, reverends, nurses, teachers, retired people, other ministers. Minister Mary Haney just thought she was just ready. She's like, I got some tools. I'm like, what's she gonna do with them tools? I love Mr. Mary Haney. I love her. And we have pastors. I cannot even call the pastor, and I forget the pastor that comes. He got the cowboy hat. He brought his whole family. He grabbed that broom and started cleaning up. So when you get our brethren who was black and who white, and we got the wives, the children, and then Steve and them with Sippy went and put up a refreshment tent. The community came together. What was missing was the acknowledgement from the mayor with the support. Reverend Hogue Smith came, and it was if Pastor Thompson's pain was transferred over to his. And so the community came together to help the church who had been helping the community and serving faithfully through COVID, through difficult times. They had just got the week before the 25,000 where we approved for them to get food. They'd just gotten some other things which were just so wonderful. And we thought we was on the way, and you go to bed a day or two later and you wake up and someone went to torch the church. So when you pray, let's pray for all 3. The person who started the fire for St. Mark's is not in jail. The person who started the fire for St. Mark's is not in jail. The person who threatened the People's Church is not in jail. So we can say to pray for all 3 without picking it apart, because that's what we do. If somebody hungry, we gonna feed them all. We got the food. Our portions may be smaller, but we gonna feed everybody. And we can do the same with supporting them. Those two people for St. Mark's and People's Church, he's not in jail. And so I wanted to say that because I've seen comments on different things. And I think people take away and say, oh, well, you're saying this because no, y'all don't know the whole story. And sometimes we have to just sit back and say, it's not meant for me to comment on. And just look at it and pray that the time will come. So I hope that I was able to bring some clarity to why some of the people feel, because St. Mark and the People's Church, the person is not in jail. Doesn't take away from the tragic situation that they burnt that church down. And when you Black, we know our history. They burn our churches down and they bomb them. They don't care. So pray for all three. There was loss of life at the Grand Blanc Church of Latter-day Saints. There was a loss of spirit in St. Mark's and loss of building and fire damage at St. Mark's. There's a loss of secureness and safetyness of being in your church to worship freely in the People's Church. So each one had a loss. But Cathedral, the Church of Grand Blanc of Latter-day Saints had the greatest loss. They had the greatest loss. But we can pray for all three because we still have an arsonist that's out there. Producer Jay. Y'all, if you didn't went to sleep.
Yes, ma'am.
Did we cover everything?
Not really, but we'll get it.
We'll get it. So we're going to have to come on, y'all. We're going to probably look for Monday. So I just want everybody to understand that. And there's prayers. Pray for Kiki. Pray for Kiki's mother. Kiki's mother is really going through it as she's speaking for her daughter. Pray for those who support Kiki. Pray for each person with domestic violence. And I had a young lady, Kiki, reach out to me with her friend, been a victim of domestic violence for 5 to 6 years. And then when we speak about it, we stop normalizing. It is not normal to beat your girlfriend, beat your wife. It is not, or your husband or your boyfriend. Keep your hands to yourself. If you have to resort to violence, leave. Leave. So I'm going to get off of here, and I want to thank each and every one of you down at the crawl. Thank you to everyone who did donate and those who wanted to donate but could not. But you also can donate to Cash App Producer J 1987 1987. And we're going to do this again. So hopefully, we can, they can find the person. And then the person with St. Mark's is believed to be the same person with Reverend Hogue Smith of the People's Church, so that he can have some peace, so that they can all, so our community can have some peace and focus. And, I'm going to tell you, Grand Rapids ain't got no traffic, or maybe I just wasn't seeing it, but it is a clean, safe city. We just feel like you can go out and be comfortable. Flint needs to be a clean, safe city. And that is a purposeful thing for us to commit to. So please kindly donate to Cash App, $ Producer J 1987. Producer J 1987. So Hollywood Herb 256 says, I really enjoyed the live. My prayers are with y'all. Hashtag Flint Strong. Yes, yes, yes. Jeremy, people try to weaken Flint, but it only strengthens the community. It does. And it's bonded. I'm telling y'all, the people that came, it touched my heart. I'm like, I did, because and maybe y'all don't know, Pastor Thompson's sister was the first female and Black deputy fire chief in the city of Flint. Should have been the fire chief, as far as I'm concerned. And she's now at another party. Mayor Neely went after her. He went after her. She's smart. She's intelligent. She's bright. She knows her work. So as he was saying stuff, I could hear her say, put Tonya Burns on the phone. And so I get on the phone. She says, I need you to be my eyes and ears. We need to make sure that these things are going on, because she knows her job and it's about her career. When women work together, we all win. When we work together. And so it was hard because that hit home because his sister was the first deputy fire chief. I'm sorry, deputy fire chief. I'm saying put some respect on her name. And so it's hard. It hit home and it hurt. It hurts. It hurts. So even though all three suffered loss, yes, Grand Blanc Church of Latter-day Saints had the greatest loss. They did. Producer Jay, so listen, I want to say everybody, and if you were on here with me, I appreciate y'all staying with me. I did not follow my course. I did not. There's some things because our community is hurting, and I want people to understand that you have to look at the people who are dividing it. And they're dividing it. You don't stay in a seat when you don't live where you say you live. You don't do that. You don't do that. You know, we have to, basic rules, integrity, character. It matters. It matters. So October the 6th, I am having a 6th ward meeting. Everybody is welcome to come. Please come. We're going to have some special, we're going to address some issues. We're going to talk about some crime. We're going to address the issue. I want to hear from you. You know, the other agendas at my other meetings, I don't set the agendas, but this one, this is about the people. This is about the people. And the Going Green Garage to the Mott Park Recreation, Mott Park, y'all know y'all rock. You know, we got those lawnmowers that's going green. You can plug those babies up, mow them lawn. Children can use those to make some money, create them some revenue. Look, go do Mother Johnson's lawn because she's 96. You know, we can do some great things when we come together for community. So I appreciate each and every one of y'all. And I want to say thank you and shout out to our moderators, Sheena Beckton and Patrick Jean. And I want to say thank you to Producer Jay. We will probably be coming on Sunday. Anyways, Producer Jay, anything you want to close with? Because I appreciate you tonight.
No, ma'am. I think you got it. All
right. Well, look, y'all, I'm sending from my heart to y'all's heart. I will see y'all. Thanks for joining us. Have a good one.
It's the Tonya Bird Show, don't you know? Like and share, let's make it glow. Flint City News, we bring the heat. When we fight, we beat defeat. I won't give up, I won't stand down. The city's heart will never drown.